We live. Do 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 do.
What's going on, everyone? Tonight we're live, special YouTube stream tonight. We have the homie Homegrown Kicks. You guys are more than familiar with him. He's always my little tag team partner on these little streams. And tonight we have a special guest. We have Roy, who is pretty much like blown up as far as like the news this week, where the story goes, where he bought 62 pairs of sneakers from StockX over a month-long period, and where he got about 60% of them were fake. So I'd like to welcome him to the channel. And Roy, thank you so much for coming in to the stream today and agreeing to do this. I appreciate that.
No worries, man. Thanks for having me on.
So a lot of stuff has been going on as far as the information that's been coming out. There's been, some articles and some sneaker websites. Obviously, YouTubers like myself have been making videos about it because it is kind of alarming that you're getting so many fake sneakers over the course of a month. So what I want to do tonight is get your story. I definitely want to build out the context of how you came about trying or wanting to buy 62 pairs of Jordan 1s, just to give a backstory of it, because there is some people out there that don't believe you. They think it's cap. There is a lot of people that do believe your story. And
Right. I think the sheer number, the dollar value, is what's so mind blowing. And I think this here is a good opportunity for you to be able to explain what happened and things like that. Because for me, the first time I saw what we're going to be talking about was Nice Kicks on Instagram. Mm-hmm. And it's blown up all over Google and things like that. And some people who have posted this story, they've erased it and things like that, I guess trying to figure out the logistics of it. And I don't know how many people have reached out to you or tried to find you actually, but it'll, like James said, it'll be a good opportunity to explain like the time frame of things and what actually happened. Because when I saw it, I'm thinking, holy crap, 10 grand at one time being spent, and to receive 60 to 70% of fake shoes. And like he said, a lot of people believe it's fake. I wasn't one to believe it was fake. Even with my thoughts on StockX, I wasn't one to believe it's fake. And I guess a lot of other people just felt like it was extremely convenient given the issues that Nike is having with StockX as well. So
I understand that. Yeah. So let's just get it out there. I'm obviously a reseller. Ain't no one buying 62 pairs for personals, right? So these pairs, I have a pretty long history of StockX. And as a reseller right now, and I don't want to get too deep into the reseller part of it, but right now, everyone's talking about, recession, sneaker market being in a recession. As a reseller, this is actually a good time to buy. And so what's happening now is that because market prices are so low, a lot of us are turning to StockX to buy a lot. And I keep in touch with a lot of other kind of power buyers. And so that's why, 62 pairs of these is a lot, but you should really see my full StockX account. I actually did send it over to James before this call, just so he can, know that I'm not making any of this up. But I buy a lot of shoes from StockX, and these are just 3 of the SKUs that I started buying. So I bought these all like late May, early June. And it takes a while for me because I'm just doing this kind of as a side thing. It takes some time for me to process them, get them. But I had known that there had been rumors that there are some like cook groups that are selling fake pairs that are marketed as passing StockX. So you hear a lot about one-to-one reps. These are not one-to-one reps. There are still ways to tell they are replicas or allegedly replicas. And I'll get to that in a second. But these are enough that they figured out how StockX authenticates and did enough with the pairs to make them pass StockX. And so, backing up here a little bit, what do we mean by is it fake, right? Authenticity of sneakers is actually kind of tough when you look at a sneaker, you're looking at various ways that there have been defects in the past to understand what makes a fake a fake. At this point, with the rumored pairs that are out there, the only way you can really tell a shoe if it's fake is by looking at the insole stitching. So here is where the crux of the situation is. Legit check app, check app. And I think, and I don't want to say for sure, but I'm pretty sure GOAT and eBay both look at the insole stitching. Because with the insole stitching, if it's stitched a certain way, they're all going to say they're fake. So really, like these legit check apps and check apps, they really should be called like insole check apps, because that's all they're basically doing. They're checking the insole stitching and they're checking the back of the insoles. So that's a consistency you'll see, right? And that's why even if I run it in one versus both apps, they're both going to say the same thing. Now, I do want to say that's not definitive, right? You're still talking about apps that are trying to authenticate sneakers based on photos. There's going to be no better way of doing it than with a person, right? So I could try to take it to SneakerCon, get them authenticated in hand, but I know that there are fakes that are being sold in the market. And I know that someone else that I talked to that have been buying these SKUs tried to resell his pairs on GOAT, and they failed GOAT's authentication. So those are his pairs, not mine. But I know that that is also what's happening. So it's one of these things where there's like a confluence of evidence, right? It's all circumstantial. There's no direct evidence. But everything kind of leads me to believe like, yeah, these are fake. Now, 10,000 is a lot, but I buy 10 times that on other SKUs. And I don't have any problems with StockX on the other SKUs. I think what's happening is that the rep makers have found ways to exploit certain popular models. And the ones I know that I ran into, right? UNC ones, Mocha ones, Hyper Royal ones. I've heard rumors that the patent bred ones are all pretty bad too. I don't have personal experience with that.
Yeah.
But that's kind of what's happening right now. And so StockX, and I also want to say this, like, I know I saw a lot of comments on that Nice Kicks post about like, I'm never buying from StockX again. I hate to tell you this, but eBay and GOAT they pass fakes a lot of times too. I know that from personal experience.
Yeah. I think
the reason you see on StockX is because StockX is the biggest market. They're the
right.
biggest.
Now, I also think that, like, and I'm sorry to stop you for a second because I don't want you to put all your information out at one time.
No,
but I also think, and this is just my opinion and how I view things. I think GOAT and eBay, you don't hear as much about them passing fakes because they handle it a lot different than StockX does. Because I definitely know that there has been like conversation or chatter about fakes being processed through eBay and GOAT's authentication process. But what I have noticed compared to StockX is that when those individual authentication processes are notified, they try to handle and rectify the situation, whereas StockX is more likely to block you or deny you that the fact that they've sent you fakes, or try to come up with some excuse other than just saying, okay, let's just get this worked out. And I've noticed that StockX's response time to emails and things like that is not as swift or as good as the other apps.
I don't know. That may be a person. I actually have the opposite experience. Like I can't get a support to get back from GOAT to save my life. StockX, I generally get pretty good response, but I think they've also started flagging my account as a buyer account, as a power buyer account. So I probably get preferential treatment. I do want to touch on one thing though, because when this happened, a lot of people reached out and they're like, "Look, I got one fake last year, whatever, right?" And the thing that really, really kind of is messed up is StockX's default response when you tell them you have a fake, right, is to say, "Nah, man, our authenticators are good. We look, they're real. You can sell it back on the platform." Now think about that, what that means for a second, right? If you think they're fake, what they want you to do is sell the fake base back to StockX because they're probably going to pass it again. So StockX is collecting fees twice on a pair of fake shoes, and you're now passing that fake shoes on to somebody else. That's the bigger issue here, right? Like, if they don't fix the problem, like, I'm a reseller, I'm going to lose money on this. That's fine. I mean, StockX says they're going to take the pairs back, but the point is, it's not the people that buy a single shoe. Those are the people that are really suffering. They don't know that they're fake. There's no recourse for them, right? So this is, it's a problem for resellers, but it's a problem for everyone. If they're failing 60% of my UNC ones, Mocha ones, Hyper Royal ones, they probably have failed 60% of individual buyers too, and that's a real issue. There's no recourse.
Right. And I do want to say that Roy, he did send me the receipts to the shoes that he bought, along with some other corresponding emails from StockX. I'm not going to share them, awesome. But he did send them to me. So
yeah, that's awesome, because that's what a lot of questions that people had. Like, why didn't he show the receipts along with the information of him having fakes and things like that? And I was like, I can't, like, 62 pairs of shoes. I can't imagine trying to show 62 different receipts on Instagram or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's also like, I didn't expect the post to blow up like that, right? I kind of posted this for my group of friends, hoping StockX would see and I'd get them to send it back. Once Nice Kicks picked it up, it became its own thing. Yeah. But also, like, I don't know, but like once you buy a couple hundred pairs on StockX, you can't search for orders. So the only way I can show you these receipts is to like literally scroll through the past 2 months of all the stuff I bought, and that's what I had to do and send to James. But also, I'm not showing you my receipts with my order numbers and address and name on it. I mean,
personal information. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, so he did send them to me. I did see them. So for the people that are asking or wondering about that and why that's not out there, it's real. I've seen it. So
yeah. Plus, I mean, the idea of me buying 40 fakes just to, I mean, I'm not a content creator. You know, I don't sell sneakers on Instagram. There's no reason for me to try to get attention from this issue. But to StockX's credit, they did eventually reach out, right? And they offered to take the pairs back and take another look at them. And I'm not going to put the dude's name out there. I don't know if he knows it, but it's, you know, the person who reached out is like someone who's managing. It's like the account management guy, right? And that's kind of the weird part, right? Like, I'm telling you half these pairs are fake. And I think StockX's solution is just like, let's get the account manager, try to make him happy by taking the pairs back, as opposed to like, I mean, who's your authentication guy? You know, who's trying to change that process at StockX and say, look, we need to like, I mean, this is an issue for us. We need to stop sending these fake pairs back on the market, you know, giving money to these people who are selling fakes and causing this big problem.
Yeah. And it begs the question is, if you do send them back to them, then what are they going to do with them?
Are they going to flip them again?
You know
I mean, because they've already paid out like hundreds of people at that point.
That's a great question. Maybe I should mark all the insoles as replica before I send them back, so no one else can get them, and they'll know. They'll look at the insole, and be like, "Oh, this is one of the 62 pairs."
They probably won't give you the refund since you damaged the sneaker.
No, I mean, the same pairs it was before, but
I mean, I hate to say it that way, but I mean that's a real possibility too. So maybe you don't want to do that. I don't know.
What I've heard is like shoes that get failed at StockX, like employees can buy them at a discount, but then who knows what the employer's going to do with them, you know? So.
Yeah, what are they going to do with them? I mean, I did hear that StockX laid off some people.
Yeah.
Now their authentication wasn't great to begin with, but if they actually were laying off like authenticators, unless they were terrible at their job, which obviously somebody's terrible, he's getting that many fake shoes. But yeah, this is a bigger question because this looks massive because it's this one guy. They ordered 62 pairs of shoes and 60% of them are fake. But like Roy said, you know, if you go on StockX and you buy whatever, an Air Jordan 1, anything, right? You get it. And you know what I mean? These fakes are so good nowadays that you probably wouldn't question it. You probably wouldn't even notice, you know what I mean? And people are, you know, walking around the streets with fake shoes. And that's not to, you know, slight anybody that buys UAs or anything like that. But the fact of the matter is like you paid a resale price for an authentic product.
Exactly.
And, you know, you didn't go and buy, you know, a UA for $150 or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like you went and spent, you know, what a UNC 1 goes for what, $400, Hyper Royals, $400, Mochas are $500 or so. That's a lot of money, man. Like if you save up, you do overtime, you know, whatever you got to do, you sell other sneakers or whatever, because you really want, you know, a specific sneaker, and then you get it and, you know, you think it's real when it's not. And I will say this, these UAs, right? They're really, really, really good nowadays. And I think that they really got that Jordan 1 down to like almost a T. I mean, they've had almost 40 years, you know what I mean, of Jordan 1s coming out. You know what I mean? In order to, you know, they probably perfected that silhouette, you know what I mean? Unless it's something crazy. And even then, you know what I mean? It's just a little alteration here or there. And so I think the Jordan 1, the Jordan 11s, I mean, these sneakers, these retros, they've been out since the 80s and the 90s.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I mean, they've had years and years and years to try to perfect this.
I mean, and you think about like Air Force Ones, you know, those were being repped 20 years ago. They've had
Right.
20 years to perfect triple whites. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
I don't want to get too much of the rumor mill, but you know, those bulk IG sellers on, you know, triple whites.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean,
Oh yeah.
you can't even buy an Air Force One anymore. As soon as they drop
Right.
on like Finish Line or something, they're gone, and that's
Yeah.
I mean that's crazy. You can't even get them because people buy them up and then try to resell them or whatever. I did see that Sneakers app has one coming out, like I forget what they're calling it, but I mean it's just a white Air Force One and it's $140. Like it's so bad that we're like the Sneakers app is dropping an all white Air Force
I think
One.
it's called like the fresh Air Force One.
Yeah, yeah, I think it's called fresh. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's a scary part, right? Like at this point, you know, the core issue is the insole stitching the last real way to tell a rep, right? Because I know even with dunks, like the black and white dunks, the insole stitching is really the last thing you have left, figuring out if it's real or not. I mean, once they get that down, like, what are you going to do? You know,
right.
And I'm sure they're trying to figure that out too, because you know this story, I'm sure they're trying to figure out how to make better batches all the time, because there's a lot of money to be made making good fakes. So that's to me the scary part. 6 months down the line, are we going to see a true one-to-one? You want to see a true one-to-one hyper royal mocha? And what does that mean? I mean, for trying to buy off resale platforms, you know, can you really know for sure?
I'm going to piggyback off of that in a second. For everybody who's watching the stream right now, thank you guys for showing up. I see that you're commenting. I will get to your comments and your questions here in a little bit. I just want to get to the just the meat of this story, and then you know what I mean. We'll follow back. We'll take some questions, and you know what I mean. Shout you guys out. But I see you guys commenting right now, so don't think I'm ignoring you. Yeah. So a true one-to-one for pretty much everything. What would that mean? Well, in this case. And maybe not even just in this case, but just overall, then who determines that what's real and what's fake? Who's the gatekeeper of that? Is it StockX, Goat, eBay? Is it those places? You know what I mean? Just because they authenticate something as 100% legit, does that make it legit just because they said so? Especially as good as these reps are becoming nowadays. I've seen just on YouTube the amount of content creators that now just basically just do UA content has increased. Like, I mean, the UA community is growing and
they're
growing
getting
and
followers
growing.
and views like crazy.
Yeah, I mean, like they're doing better than me. You know what I mean? And other content creators. I mean, it's crazy. And I have seen some of the more popular ones like MK the Truth. I have watched his videos from time to time. He's taken like real shoes and put them next to the fake shoes and pulled out the insoles and did all that. And some of these sneakers, some of them like the top tier UAs are just as good as the legit pairs, and in some cases might even be a little bit better as far as materials go and quality control.
We'll have to do like another live about that in depth and like talk about the mindset of a UA wearer, because over the last, because I know a couple people that do UA content, and I get into debates with individuals who wear UAs all the time, and when I talk to them, I never come at them from a negative place, because at the end of the day, the way I look at it is, it's your money, spend it the way you want to spend it. The only problem I ever have with anybody with UAs is when you sell that UA, are you number one, why are you selling it? That's really none of my business. But number two, are you selling it as a UA or are you selling it as a real pair? And
that's the real issue, man. Yeah, 100%.
Right. And I think the mindset of a lot of individuals who wear UAs is where they try to blur the line, because you will hear people who wear UAs say it's the same as the real thing. But in reality, it's not. And when you carry that kind of dangerous mentality,
and you promote that,
you're pushing it onto somebody,
right,
as a real shoe, because in your mind you are twisting the truth so much that you actually believe it's the same thing. But yeah, I mean, we can talk about that later, because I could go deep into that. I've screenshotted like comments that you could like throw up and stuff like that, of just like the basic mindset. It's wild. It is wild.
I don't think, man, if I say this and I start getting a bunch of DMs, I'm gonna hate myself. But I don't think I've ever seen a community try to justify itself more than the UA community.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
it's
yeah.
just crazy. Now I want to say, like, if you want, like, if you are young and you don't have money, you don't want to pay resale, that's fine. Get the UA,
Absolutely,
right? You appreciate the
absolutely.
shoe. I'm okay with that, and that's the point, right? That's fine. But why did these rep makers need to make shoes with the right inside size label? Why did they have to make the shoes with the right
Exactly.
insole sleeve? Why did they have to have the fake StockX tag on them? There
Why
is
does it have to
no
color
reason.
match? And
I mean, the color match, yeah, you don't want to get called out. I can get that. But like, there's no reason for the inside stuff to be 100% unless you're trying to resell that. And that
right,
is where, for me, that line is. If you're making a UA rep and it looks like you're trying to make it so you can sell it or
Well,
give it to someone that's trying to sell it, that is the issue for me with
I
UAs.
I don't want to make this all about that, and just
right,
focus on this point. But
Right,
I will say this. In the UA community, a lot of things that they say about why it's got to be like this and why it's like that and why it's so accurate to the actual retail sneaker is because they believe that they're the actual shoes that were contracted through Nike to this
right,
the maker of the shoe, the warehouse, the factories and stuff like that. And these are like the leftover pairs, or they are pairs that they continue to make after, they made their 100,000 for Nike, and then, they
right.
made another 100,000. So that is their argument from what I hear most of the time as to why they're so close. This isn't back in the day when we used to go to, the flea markets and stuff like that.
Right.
You would see like these crazy, obviously fake Jordans and stuff like that, and these weird colorways, and you know what I mean? The Jumpman's looking all crazy. This is a whole new day out here when it comes to this. And, I haven't bought anything from StockX in years. I only bought 2 sneakers from them. I always buy from GOAT, and it's not because, I just hate StockX or they've done anything to me personally or nothing like that. Like the 2 shoes I bought from them, totally fine as far as I could tell. You know what I mean? But I always would go through GOAT if I'm gonna, pay resale or whatever, just because they were faster at shipping than StockX was.
Sure.
And I do want to say this, guys, like, it's not that StockX sold Roy the sneakers. These were sellers selling on their platform, and where StockX is messing up is the authentication part of it. And you pay for that. Whenever you buy a sneaker, you pay a separate fee to have that sneaker authenticated to ensure that
It's
you're
what,
getting
like
a legit product.
$15 or something like that? $13, $15?
It's something like that, yeah. So, Roy, when did you start? You said you bought the sneakers over the course of a month, and obviously I would assume that they just started coming in, one by one and stuff like that. Were you legit checking them as the sneakers were coming in, or were you just pounding them up and then just started legit checking them in bulk or something like that? Like, at what point did you start discovering that you had a real problem here?
No, I mean, so I bought them like at the end of May, early June. They start coming in 2 weeks later. And I'm buying these along with a lot of other shoes too. And so what happens is, as a reseller, authentic products is like my thing. So the shoes that are higher risk, I usually set aside and take a deeper look at them. The shoes that aren't like high risk, I know that, rep makers don't have good ones down. I'll do a quick check on them. So they got set aside, but I also had kind of got a warning from another reseller friend of mine who was warning me about these shoes and to check them real carefully. So originally I set them aside and I ran them through check first. And like one day I woke up and like 8 of them had failed. And I thought that was a check.
Wow.
I was like, man, like, yeah, how do you get like 8 of them in a row that failed, right? I just thought like the dude got tired. It was like fake. So then I was like, all right, I'm going to set this aside for now. Like I have a lot of stuff going on in my life, but I'll set these aside for now. And then I'll check it with another app, legit check app. So then, these shoes are piling up in my garage. And then I check like another 20, 25 of them through legit check app. And about half start failing. So I'm like, all right, maybe like check, maybe they weren't wrong. And so this kind of happened over the course of 2 weeks or so. I had sent like StockX kind of a vague support email. I'm like, can someone reach out to me? I feel like, a lot of these pairs on these SKUs are not good, but they didn't really get back to me until the Instagram post came around.
Right, of course.
It took me about 2-3 weeks to kind of process them, really get an understanding of like, all right, like a lot of these apps are saying they're fake. And, I think there's some people that are saying, maybe these apps are wrong. And that could be the case. Maybe the apps are all wrong. Maybe GOAT's wrong. Maybe eBay is wrong. Maybe StockX is right. But the problem is it kind of goes to what's the definition of a fake, right? If it passes StockX and doesn't pass GOAT, what does that mean? You know?
Right.
And so that's kind of the bigger problem too. I mean, with these fakes.
Yeah, I
but
mean,
that's kind of the timeline of it.
And I will say this, like check is pretty good. But these legit checking apps, like they're not, you know, the end all be all when it comes to authentication.
Exactly.
Authenticating sneakers is actually hard. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah. You know, there's no college for that. There's no, I mean, I don't know what StockX training program is like, or, you know what I mean? Because when you get hired at a job, obviously there's a training. So there's definitely things that, you know, they're trained to look for.
We got a guy in the chat, in our chat group that ended up, you know,
he said it don't work for him no more.
Wasn't he there long enough to like kind of get an idea of what their process is like?
He remember he was telling us that I don't know if you saw it, but whenever he started the job, he didn't work there long, I think a month or something. But he said that out of all the sneakers that he was authenticating, you know, they take real hard looks at like the Travis fragments, highs, the lows, you know, the bigger
the high dollar.
He said that most of those passed for the most part, and but
it's also like, who are they? I mean, like when StockX says it passed like you know, the authentication is 99 point whatever % accurate, like who's measuring them, right? It's like telling a second grader to grade his own test. Like, yeah, I made 100% job. You know? Like, come on, like, But the bigger issue here is also like, if it is fake, there needs to be a remediation. Like, it can't just be like, no, you're wrong, to sell it back to the platform. Like, to me, that's
When I heard that they were doing that, that's the most idiotic thing that I heard of. Like, so I discovered, I believe that this is fake. I researched this. I checked it out for myself. I ran it through other platforms. Everything is coming back that this sneaker is not authentic, and you want me to sell it back. And here's another thing too. If you sell that sneaker back through the platform and they fail it, you have to pay fees.
You're gonna get flagged. Yeah.
You have to pay fees for that.
Yeah.
So it's like,
so they're making money on top of money on top of money on top of money.
Right. And briefly touching that, like their whole process on how they do those things, it screams a lot of sketchy things going on at StockX, and it screams a lot of issues going on at StockX. I think like one of the last biggest issues with StockX before Nike said that they were selling them fakes was the guy who had the red Octobers.
Yeah.
And there was also another pair of Yeezys, but he sold them on the platform.
Yeah, they stole them or something.
They verified them as fake and charged him a $5,000 fee. And when he got them back, it turns out the red Octobers were real. So it's like,
I think the fee was $1,500 for the fail, and then they failed them. And then from what I remember, they sent him different sneakers that weren't the red Octobers.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And he had to pay a $1,500 fee because they failed.
I mean, even when it's not fake, there was that story. I think it was a Zen Yeezy, right? A kid bought it a month ago and then sold it back. And they rejected it a second time because it looked like it had been worn, but they passed it the first time and then he got charged a fee. So, I mean, the thing is, it's a human process, right? People make mistakes. Everyone has different standards. And so these mistakes are going to happen, GOAT, StockX, eBay, but it's what do they do to fix it? That's to me the bigger issue. Like, I mean, I've been dealing with enough sneakers. I've seen so many fakes, and it comes in through everywhere, you know, resale shops, Instagram sellers, all these apps. But it's how do you solve that problem that really is going to set you apart and really is the important thing here. Like, I shouldn't have to get a post to go viral for StockX to reach out to me. Right. Not, and if you don't have an Instagram account, you can't get your post to go viral. What you got to sit with the fake pair of off-white Euro ones, which someone did. Someone had people have been DMing me some crazy stories, man. They got like Euro ones that are fake, Blazers that are fake, and it's just, it really sucks for those people because, you know, people love shoes. These are shoes that people saved up to buy.
Right.
I think in March, somebody got a fake pair of Cause 4 that they spent almost $4,000 on. I saw a post on Instagram about that from StockX. But through your dealings, that not give away any specifics on anybody, through your dealings, how often would you say that you see fakes?
For me, honestly, not very often. I mean, before this, Look, I've spent, I think, what, 600 grand through StockX in total. This is really the first time I'm running into big issues. I've had
Okay.
issues with like mismatched shoe sizes, like bad QC.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think I've gotten a fake from StockX before this issue, honestly.
Wow.
I've gotten, I mean, Instagram resellers going to hate me. Most of the fakes I've gotten prior to this are from Instagram resellers,
Right.
even the ones that
Yeah,
are like well
yeah.
known and have references. So I mean, just a thing to be cautious about. You know, you buy a pair
Right.
of shoes, get them checked. You know, legit check
So,
them. Do your research on them. Make sure you.
so just so everybody knows, he has no vendetta against StockX because
No, I'm
he's
still
told you
buying.
how much he spent with StockX. It's not anything personal or an
Right.
attempt to bring him down or anything like that. So,
No, I honestly I love StockX. I'm still buying. I mean, James seen the screenshot. I'm still buying heavy. I want
wow.
them to do what
He
their
is.
service is supposed to do and authenticate, because this is a great way for people to get sneakers that you can't get anywhere else. You know, I mean, the way Nike is. I mean, this is a whole other thing with the way Nike is kind of dealing with distribution and trying to move everyone to sneakers apps and all that. But look, some people really want sneakers, and I understand you want to get. And this is probably why so many people go into UAs now, because if you're going to buy a stock and just get fake, why not just get UAs? But yeah, I still am a big fan of StockX, and I just really want them to tighten up their authentication. That's all I want from this, you know, and for them to have a better process. Like if it is fake, you know, make people feel like confident. Like, all right, if you're wrong,
Right.
this is why we think you're wrong, but we'll take the shoes back, take a look, you know.
Right.
That's what I want. That's what I really want from all this.
Yeah, I think if they're gonna continue to exist as a company, because obviously, like every week, every month, you know, there's
Yeah.
another new StockX story, and it seems to just be getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Like
Yeah.
you know, where it's
Yeah.
more and more mistakes. If they're gonna continue on as a company, like they're gonna have to have some kind of management shift where they are really focusing all their attention on making sure that authentic products are coming in, and you know what I mean, before they go out to a customer, that they're legit. You know what I mean? I know things are going to happen. I know mistakes will always happen. And people are buying on StockX at a ridiculously high scale. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
Millions of people are going through. I mean, I get it. However, I'm not sympathetic with you. You know what I mean? You are making a lot of money, and you know what your volume is. You know what
Yeah.
is expected. You know the job. You got to do better than this.
Right.
This man
Right.
should not. This man should not have 62 pairs and 60% of them come as fake. You shouldn't have any, honestly, but 60% is a very, very
Yes, that's a hell of
alarming.
a large number. Yeah. Yeah.
So, I mean, think about that month. If he got 62 pairs of shoes and 60% of them are fake, think about all the orders that came in that month. Let's say they got 1 million orders that month, and that's probably on the low end. You know what I mean? Let's say they got 1 million orders, so 600,000 of them were fake.
Well, I mean, I want to back up. It's those SKUs that are problematic. So I do want to make sure that's clear. There are very specific SKUs that have a high chance of being fakes.
Right.
Everything else, I think, is still fine. Because everything else, I think whatever process they're using probably catches it enough. It's just these specific shoes. I would say that if I got 60% of fake UNC1 hyper royal mocha ones, there's probably a good chance that 60% of the shoes sold in that month were fake of that SKU. But I wouldn't say everything is like that.
And those are popular shoes. I guarantee you, if I pulled up
Oh,
StockX
yeah.
right now and looked at the amount of sales on both
Oh, yeah.
all three of those sneakers, they would be very high. You
Yeah,
know,
Right.
absolutely.
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, but these rep makers, I saw on Instagram yesterday, they already have out the Alma Manure Jordan 4s.
Oh, yeah.
Did you see that?
Yeah.
Like, there's
Yeah.
no official images. We don't even know if that's really happening this year, but like,
Right.
based on
Right.
a mock-up, like these rep makers, like they're already making the Jordan 4 Alma Manure.
Yeah.
And
It's messed up.
so
And they come to you. They come to you and say they have them, and they make you money. Because honestly, I'm going to be honest with everybody. My following is not very high on Instagram compared to anybody else's, but on average, I probably get maybe 2 to 3 rep sellers
I
hit
get them
me
all the
up
time.
saying, I can make you money. We have this. Check out our shoes. Blah, 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 blah. And I have to ignore every single one of them. That's why I've got like my messages separated, because it gets ridiculous after a while.
Yeah, I get a ton of those messages too. Please cooperate. And listen,
Right.
I really don't care if people like UAs. I'm not like advocating against it, whatever. I don't care what people do. You know what I mean? Like if you it's your money, you know what I mean? If you want to buy this or buy that, like I'm not the gatekeeper of your wallet. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm not on my high horse like you know what I mean? Like I
Right.
if that's what you want to do, that's fine with me. You know what I mean? Like, you know, personally, I don't do it. You know what I mean? I like the thrill of getting the real thing. I like the, you know what I
Yes.
mean? Like the,
Yes.
you know,
Yes.
saving up or, you know what I mean? Trying to figure out how I'm going to get it. You know, I like the grind of it. Like, you know what I
Right.
mean? Even if I, you know, most of the time I can't get it for retail or whatever. I still like to try, you know? So, but out of the sneakers that you got, when you're looking at them, the fake ones, the ones that didn't pass authentications, the one that you know that are fake, are they blatantly fake? Like, were you able to look at it like when you first took it out of the box and was like, yeah, this ain't right? Or what started tipping you off? Like, what was some of the things on these Jordan ones that were like a tell where you started to believe that they were not authentic?
Well, that's the scary part. Now, I'm not the greatest legit checker in the world. There are
Right.
people a lot better at this than me.
Mhm.
You know, like the things that people tell you about you see in YouTube videos, like the smell, right? The smells, most of them smell pretty legit, honestly.
Right.
And that's because, you know, the plasticky smell when it comes when the shoe gets made, and then it gets sent immediately over, right? Because the glue really hasn't
Right.
time to like
Right.
dissipate. But I think these
Right.
have been sitting for a bit, so they kind of like aged them out a little bit. The
Right.
color looks good. The suede, you know, it looks fine. Like the shape looks good. Like, you know, they tell you to look for the hourglass. I mean, unless you're looking at like really bad fakes, they got the hourglass thing down.
Right.
That little, if you look at it from top down, it looks okay too. Honestly, the only giveaway that I see now is really that insole stitching. Um, and that's again the scary part of it. Now there are some pairs where, and this is where for me I get a little confused because Nike releases a lot of shoes in a lot of different countries. The QC of Nike retails are all over the place.
Yeah.
So even it's hard to tell, is it like a retail defect? Is it what, like when I look at the box label, when it has like a rounded corner, does that mean it's from overseas, which it does? You know, like the font size bolding is all over the place too. So it's really like hard. And honestly, if you know my friend hadn't like warned me to like check them carefully and have like get a second opinion,
Right.
I wouldn't have known. And that's, you know,
Wow.
yeah. Until I probably try to sell them, and then someone's like, "Yo, these don't look good." And I'm like, you know, I got to go back and figure out what happened to the pairs.
Yeah, so that brings me to a follow-up question. So, is that like your normal like routine whenever you get sneakers in? Like I mean, obviously, if it's like a sneaker that's not really like at high risk of being fake, I understand that. But like, whenever you get things in and you get obviously you're buying in bulk most of the time. It sounds like, um, do you normally like run it through check and all that stuff? You know what I mean? Obviously, because like you were explaining about the Jordan 1, like, and I was saying earlier, they pretty much, you know, they got that one nailed down pretty good. So is that like your
Yeah.
normal process?
Yeah, I mean, for me, like anything that's worth more than like $300, I'll run through legit check or check chap
Okay.
or kind of do my own research and like, you know what the tells are, right? Like, you know, for like the sale fours, you know, the text on the airs and all, right, and all the batches, stuff like that. So, but yeah, because of the way, because I'm a middleman and you know, I don't want my reputation upstream to be damaged.
Right.
Anything above $300, I have to check pretty carefully. I deal mostly with like mids and lows and stuff and dunks, obviously, and those, you know, I don't check as carefully as I should, but then again, you know, I don't think rep makers are really focusing on making those look really that good right now.
Right.
I've heard some rumors about some UNC dunks lately that have been pretty good and some, you know, black and whites, but
Yeah.
you can kind of look at the insole stitching on those still. And as long as it's like kind of tight and kind of what you expect from the retail, that's usually enough to legit check those.
Yeah, and just like you were saying, like you know, you had an Instagram post go viral, a sneaker publication picked it up, and that's why StockX has reached out to you, so on and so forth about the situation. The person that doesn't have, you know, an Instagram, you know, post go viral or something like that, it's hard to get in touch with all these apps. StockX,
Right.
Goat, like they don't have customer service. Like you can't call somebody. You got to send out an email and hope that like, you know what I
Right.
mean? Like, you know, hope that somebody gets back to you or whatever, or can do something for you. You're basically at the mercy of them. So not only did you pay a premium to get the item, but then like you're also at their mercy. I wish that they would send me fake shoes. I wish that I would make I would make a video about them every single day until I got my money back. But not everybody got a YouTube channel. Not everybody got that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
And you think, you know, even for me, like if it was 1 or 2 pairs would have been picked up. No, it was the fact that I had 62 pairs, right? I had to get that quantity up there to make it kind of like almost unbelievable, right? And that's where all that doubt comes from. Like, where'd this dude come from? He's making these claims.
Man, and for me, like, I'm not gonna lie to anybody. I have a personal issue with StockX because of what happened, 2019 during the Christmas time, when the accounts were hacked. And somebody hacked my account for $5,000. And the only thing StockX did was StockX didn't even apologize. StockX told me to change my password and make it like 2-step verification. And I'm just like, okay, I've got to go through all of this extra stuff because I had my PayPal account linked to my StockX account to give myself extra security. And of course, my PayPal was linked to my banking account. But I had to not only call, because it was over the holidays, so nobody's really there. I not only had to call PayPal and try to get it stopped, then I had to like wait a couple of days and call my bank just to make sure everything was okay. They tried to hit me for more than $5,000, but PayPal saved me because PayPal, I guess within their system, they noticed like the large payment amount at one time wasn't usual for my kind of payment history, and they put a stop to it. I even had the guy that hacked my account send me an email in my personal email and say, hey man, can you just like let the purchases go through? I'm trying to get gifts for my family for Christmas. I mean, you've already got it where you can show it's a fraudulent expenditure and all that. And I honestly told him, I said, go F yourself, screw you. Like,
right.
Who do you think you are? And he got mad. Whoever it was, they got mad and they just started like subscribing for random crap with my account, my email. And StockX never said anything beyond change your password. I let them know all of that, and they said nothing beyond just change your password. So I'm just like, when I saw this story, I was like, yes, one more thing to just like nail StockX to the cross. And at some point, we don't know when it is, but at some point, people will start making StockX take accountability, because I mean, it is way too frequent for a company of that size, dealing with that many individuals, dealing with that amount of money, and publicly dealing with the backlash so poorly. Like, they are probably one of the worst companies I've seen when it comes to PR and taking responsibility and handling stuff.
Which is weird. They take so much money on fees. Like, where is that money going? That's crazy. Because I remember pretty recently, I forget where I saw it, but they only have, I'm probably going to get this wrong and I'm not remembering, but they have a shockingly small number of authenticators. Like, I thought for a company that size, they would like have hundreds and hundreds, maybe like 1,000. It's not that many, which is kind of nuts if you think about it, because those guys, I mean, they're working hard, but they got quotas, they got to do each shoe in under a minute. And it's like, can you really like legit check a like a almost one-to-one like UNC1 in that time? I don't know. I mean, that's got to be a tough job in and of itself.
No, but, it definitely does. Because like when I get a shoe and I look at it, it takes me at least like 25-30 minutes. Like, I'm like, I don't know. And he was talking about the quality control from Nike. Yeah, it's bad. You know what I mean? So I mean, it's just another thing, to just sort of help out like the fakes come through, because every pair of shoes that I got, except for my military 4s, so far in 2022 had some flaw, even if it was small. You know what I mean? Like, they have their own little quirks. Obviously, these sneakers are handmade by human beings. They're not going to be And that's another thing. Like people are like, oh, well, look for this and look for that and look for this and look for that. These are handmade individually by a human being. You know what I
Right.
mean? And they're not all going to be exactly the same. You know what I mean? It's not a cereal box to
Yeah,
where,
they're making 60,000 across how many factories, you know? Some
yeah,
Right.
in Vietnam. So I mean, I remember when those Bacon Air Max 90s came out, I had pen marks all over my Air Max 90s. Like pen, and these are bad, like the blue. I mean,
yeah,
these were they look like they came straight off a rep
Right.
factory. That's how
Right.
bad they were. And so yeah, that also makes StockX's job harder too. I mean, not StockX, but you know, when we talk about StockX, we're talking about all the apps, honestly. You know, StockX, Go, eBay,
right.
all of them.
Yeah,
They have to deal with Nike's QC and figure out definitively these are authentic or not. That's
right.
a tough position
And
to be in.
I hate to rain on anybody's parade, but I mean, I've had the better end of the luck. You know, most of my shoes they come in perfectly fine, with the exception of maybe like one I think I had. But I remember you talking about those Air Max Bacons, and that was one of my biggest concerns because I had got a pair of the Bacons off of the sneakers app, and when I saw like different photos of just like the straight pin marks to line the shoes up, I was like, oh crap, I really don't want to deal with this, but I really want this shoe. Um, and I was just one of those ones that was lucky enough not to have the pin marks, but
Yeah.
um, it happens. Like you
It's
said,
just another problem. And you know, and people can blame Nike too for making limited amounts of sneakers. And that's,
yeah,
you know, why
yeah,
people buy so many UAs and stuff like that. But I mean, any way you slice it, it's their product. You know what I mean? It's
right,
their product. They own all the rights to the silhouettes. They own all the rights to the colorways. They could make 10,000. Which me and you debate this all the time. You know what I mean? Like what? Who's in charge of this? Like how is
right,
there 10,000 pairs of this? You know what I
right,
mean? But
right,
it's 300,000 pairs of that. You know what I mean?
right,
Makes no sense.
right,
Obviously, people above our pay grade makes these decisions, but like it doesn't make sense.
right,
So, but it's their product. Like they can do whatever they want as far as the amount of sneakers that they make. You know what I mean? So, like nobody, they're just very sought after now. You know what I mean? Like I
Yeah,
think that I have a sneaking suspicion that Nike is still sort of operating the way that they did 20 years ago. You know what I mean? And they
yeah,
don't really fully understand the demand that's out there for a lot of these shoes. But then I also think that they make things like really, really limited on purpose. You know what I mean?
right.
So who knows? But Roy, if you wouldn't mind, if it's okay, if you want to show one of the shoes or to see what we're looking at here.
yeah. Let me see. Here. 1 second here.
Yeah, no problem.
All right. So this is one of the shoes here.
Oh yeah,
There's a StockX tag. If I had a black light, I would show you. It still has that X, but take my word for it. I mean, like the things they tell you, right? Look for the waxy bag. This one a little less waxy, but it's
right,
because I know that it's fake. So what they really say is the issue is here is in the. Oh, sorry, look at the insole out here. Let's see. I don't know if the lighting's gonna be good here.
yeah. We can see
Yeah, we
it.
can see it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
So here's what I didn't kind of what I'm told. So with the stitching, if it's too uniform and it's a little long, right? The stitching should be really tight. That's
right,
kind of a giveaway here. And for this one, it looks because remember, humans are sewing these, so there's going to be some imperfection, stuff like that.
right,
But this is kind of, I guess, the dead giveaway at this point is looking at these insole stitches and looking at how uniform they look, what the stitch length looks like. But yeah, this is basically all there is, I think, for us to tell. I mean, the size tag looks good, box label looks all right. The shoe itself looks, pretty good, honestly.
I mean, yeah. I
right,
mean, honestly, like just looking at it through here, I wouldn't be able to tell. And a lot of people will talk about the like the shoelace bag, but they
right,
put different shoelace bags on, from different factories, and people don't really have a real way to, you know what I mean? They don't use the same lace bags on, a whole release. You know what I'm saying? Like they use different lace
right.
bags too, so you can't even rely on that.
Yeah, and
And
I
they,
don't, I can't really
they
see the
say about
YDM.
they say with
But
the
also that,
waxy film on the lid and stuff like that. It
Yeah, and the
scratches off
YDM
in the
sticker
face.
has lines, stuff like that. I mean,
Yeah,
and the other thing they tell you is like in the insole, look for it to say die cut sock liner on the flip side. But I mean, it
yeah,
has all the things that you're told to look out for. And I'm sure like
right,
once the rep makers kind of figured out
right.
what people are looking for tell wise, they kind of fix it up.
I mean, you know what? The crazy thing is, I know a lot of people who wear reps, and like I said, I've seen comments of people who wear reps because I'm on Reddit all the time, and like I'll throw my videos up in groups on Reddit, and Reddit is full of rep groups. Now when I got on Reddit and was doing that, like I didn't realize that like most of Reddit is reps, because I was new to it, and just blindly stumbling through that little avenue. But I would get in comments and have conversations with people where they would say, well, how does this look compared to retail? Because I need to let my rep maker know. So like they're going to people that have in times before identified things that were different between reps and retails. They go back to their rep maker and they say, hey, you need to fix this, or this needs to be a certain way. Can you take this one back and send me a good pair? And when I would see stuff like that, that goes into one of my arguments. And we can talk about that more on another day and time. But that went into one of my arguments of, if you're okay with the shoe, and if you think it looks exactly enough for you like the retail, why go back to your rep maker and say, hey, this is no good, like this needs to be fixed, that needs to be fixed, and bring me the changes?
Yeah, it's crazy. And I think there was a Sneak City video a while back where someone came in pretending to like, oh, someone sold me these fakes. Can you tell me how you identify fakes? And I remember the comments of that video was like, yeah, like that was definitely like a rep maker trying to figure out how to trick a store owner 6-12 months down the line.
Right.
Looking at what tells they're looking at.
What I've heard, and I don't know how accurate this is, but what I've heard is that there's factories over in China that are operated and ran by former Nike employees.
Yeah, okay.
And they know how to make them. They have all the blueprints, the schematics, for a lot of the stuff. And I've even on YouTube seen videos where like the rep makers buy like the authentic shoe, and then they show you the authentic shoe next to the one that they made. You know what I mean?
Right.
I don't know if it's really former Nike employees, that obviously they know how to make the shoes. They know how the whole operation works. It's plausible. I mean, I've seen over like the past 3, 4, 5 years, these reps just become really good. I mean, like really good. You know what I mean? Like I used to feel like I would be able to tell a lot of times. But now, man, like I don't know anymore. You know what I mean? Like even, that's why like I'm not really even trying to buy on Goat or anything as much anymore, or just, these apps or whatever, just because I really don't know. You know what I mean? So like I try to just get for retail, you know what I mean? And if I don't get it from the Nike sneakers app or Foot Locker, Champs, one of those, you know what I mean? A lot of times, unless it's something that I just really, really, really got to have, you know what I mean? I've been trying to be more selective this year, not just because of that, but you don't know anymore, you know what I mean? And then when you hear about stories like this, and other stories that obviously they just keep coming out, more and more and more and more every single week, every single day, it just makes you very wary, because it's not like you're making a $20 purchase. You know what I mean? It's not like, like earlier today, I was just on a random website buying t-shirts. You know what I mean? Different graphic tees. If they come and the quality ain't good, oh well, it's $20. You know what I mean? Like these are 400, 500, 1,000. A Travis Scott is $2,000. You know what I mean? Like that's a big risk to take, especially when there's no customer service to go to. So if StockX wants to continue,
real scary thing about it.
If StockX wants to continue, they're definitely going to have to up their game as far as authentication, and they're going to have to pay for some sort of customer service where you can call, you know what I mean, and talk to someone.
Because I think that's what scares the consumers the most. But I know Roy's probably like a busy man. He's got a lot going on. He's got a lot of emails coming through and all of that. But before you go, because I don't know what your time is looking like.
Yeah.
Hey, James, did you want to run through a couple of questions that were going through the chat?
I got so many comments here, but yeah, we can definitely do that. Guys, please hit that like button. I'm terrible at asking.
Absolutely.
Please hit the
Absolutely.
like button. Support is free. I'm out here working, trying to bring you guys the best information I can. If you're new, please subscribe to the channel. Definitely.
Live action news from a cool guy,
yeah,
from the word of Roy, the coolest guy yet.
Thanks, appreciate that.
And if I don't read them all, I'm at least gonna try to put them up on the screen. And the ones that are questions or whatever, now's your time to get it into the chat, and I'll go through them. Now, what about everything outside of Jordan, Dunk, etc.? ACG mocks and New Balance, for example, are they passing other models and brands office fakes as well?
Yeah, I know there are New Balance fakes that are coming out now since it's becoming kind of the new wave. Dunks are definitely, yeah. I don't know about ACG mocks. I mean, the rep makers have to have kind of a market for it, right? But I know the New Balance fakes are they're not great. So just be careful. I mean, I think anything you buy from resale, you should assume that it's fake and kind of work
I've seen a
backwards
fake
from
New
there.
Balance, and it's terrible.
Yeah, they're terrible right now, so you're safe for now.
And New Balances aren't even that great of quality anyway. You can look at Rose Amble's YouTube video where he cuts in half of 550, and he breaks down the materials and quality of that. So, yeah.
From watching history repeat itself to knock someone off the top, you bash or pay someone to knock you off. StockX pretty much bringing 500 million a year just from Google yearly net worth.
Okay, wow.
All right.
That's crazy.
Panama Queen, what's up? How you doing? Vlogging with Demetrius.
Panama Queen.
Yeah, she's been showing up all the time. Thank you for your support. What's up, everyone? I just wish I could join. I'm down bad right now with COVID.
Oh man.
Sorry to hear
that.
Man.
I'm gonna hit you up later.
Hope you're doing all right. That's the homie. He just passed 700 subscribers on YouTube, man. If you haven't already, go check him out. StockX got the lowest prices too. That's deceiving. Because they hit you with all kinds of fees. Like you'll see the price, and then they got authentication fee. Then they hit you with the shipping. They hit you obviously if you got tax in your state. You know what I mean.
Right.
That's why it like when you go on Goat, it looks like it costs more, but basically all they charge you is the shipping, which they raised like $14.50 now. It used to be $12.
Right.
But yeah, everything's going up, even stuff like that.
Like shoe sales numbers on StockX are usually 15 to 20% lower than the shoe sale number on GOAT. But like you said, like even with that low number, you get hit with a lot of fees.
eBay got the best customer service out of the apps. I would probably say so. You can
I would definitely
say eBay.
I would definitely say StockX didn't really get back to me. Every time I've had an issue with GOAT, they've been pretty quick to get back to me. And eBay, somebody tried to sell me fake Travis's, and eBay, like after I got them in, they shut it down. And they were like, "Yeah, no."
StockX is slow to respond, so they can exploit credit cards. They never own the shoes, so they pass them along to get the processing fees. Yeah, and we were talking about that earlier. They get the money off the original sale. If they fail, then they charge the seller. And then if you're the buyer and you get them, they tell you to sell them back on the platform. Then they get the fees for that. Then you know what I mean? It's just it's just but that's the market though. The market dictates, what happens. I agree. I bought my last 4 pairs on eBay. Is no issue. Question: if fake, did he get money back? PayPal, credit refunds? Yeah, we didn't touch on that. Did you try to dispute them through your credit cards or your PayPal account or anything like that, or because you said StockX reached out to you? Are you just kind of waiting for that process to kind of see its way through
Yeah,
before you make any
they
decisions?
reached out. They gave me some labels to send the shoes back. They're going to take another look at them. I'm sure once they look at them, they're going to agree they're fake. I haven't got my money back yet. I'm sure I will. I don't do the chargebacks on credit cards. When you do that, you get banned from StockX. And like I said, I'm still sourcing a
Right.
lot from StockX.
Right.
So I'm going to let the process play out.
Okay.
I know at this point, with the visibility it's gotten, StockX is going to be looking at these shoes very carefully. So
KB Kicks 412. What's good, James? What's up, my guy? Glad that you pulled up to the stream. Roy, have you tried Goat?
yeah, I bought a lot on Goat, eBay. I bought everywhere. Kicks Crew, and you can name a site that sold sneakers. I've probably bought from there. I
Right.
mean, like I said, like Goat, I've had kind of mixed experiences with Goat. I think they're fine. But like I said, to me, like they're all the same. Goat, StockX, eBay, they all come with their own kind of problems.
Right. Your average sneaker guy says the scary part of all this is how great these replicas are coming, and if things keep going like this, replica will be the new way to buy sneakers. Shaking my head.
Who?
Yeah,
I had to do
that is
Snoop
the
Dogg.
scary part.
Who? Because I'm not. If it gets to that point, I'm done.
The new Wavely says, nah, economy is bad. People getting laid off because quotas are not going well. Yeah, I mean, the economy is bad. And like Roy was touching on, now's a great time to buy. If you're in the market and have money to, circle back, pick up sneakers that you wanted, you can get them a little bit cheaper today than you could last year.
Yeah.
Even if it's just a little bit, I mean, every little bit counts. You can get a good deal on some sneakers nowadays.
I actually got to run off, guys. I'm sorry.
No, you're good, man.
All right.
No, thanks for having me on, letting me kind of tell my story, and hopefully.
Is there anything that you want to say or anything like that before you go?
No, just like I said, I mean, if you're buying, I mean, I don't think there's issues with buying resale, but when you get them, just be careful. Don't matter who it is, trusted IG seller, eBay, Goat, StockX, just check the shoes.
If you want to follow Roy on Instagram, his handle is Sneaker Strut.
Yes, but please don't ask me if I'll sell you these fakes. That was the #1 DM I got when that post.
Wow.
Really? 100+ DMs. People ask me, what am I going to do with them? Can you? And some of them were IG sellers. That is the worst part of it. Some of them wanted to buy these fakes that pay StockX for themselves, which scummy on another level. But
selling fakes is illegal, people.
It is. I'm not selling them. If StockX don't take them back, I'm probably going to burn them. I'm not donating them because I don't know what you're going to do when I donate them to you.
Right.
But
right.
Yeah,
it's way too many pairs of shoes to be talking about donating, and way too many people with different mindsets. So
exactly.
Yeah.
And I don't know who these people are. So, but
Roy,
no, I mean, thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much for coming on, man. And keep me updated, man. Let me know. Just hit my DMs, bro.
Thank you so much for jumping on, man. You were definitely a big insight. Thank you.
Thank you.
No worries, man. Thank you all. Have a good one.
You too.
You too.
So there we have it, man. That was the story with that. I know a lot of people, when that story came out, were pretty much like saying that he was capping, like they didn't believe it because it was a big number. I mean, it was a big number. I mean, me and him, we talked about that before he came on the stream. I was like, I mean, I'm going to ask you about this, you know what I mean? Because this is what people are wondering, you bought a huge amount of sneakers. Yeah. I mean, obviously, you were reselling them, and he touched on that. He sent me all his receipts. I'm not going to share them. You know what I mean? It has personal information on it. He trusted me with that. So I'm definitely not going to share it, but he sent them to me. I looked at them. You know what I mean? It's got, his address, his name, it has all that stuff on there. You know what I mean? And all the receipts for him. He's still buying from them. He's still buying from them.
Yeah, that goes to show y'all. He has no vendetta against StockX.
Yeah, this isn't like he's not trying to bash StockX. He's not basically had a major issue, and it just happened to kind of hit the airwaves with nice kicks, and then obviously YouTubers like myself, like we made videos about it. I actually didn't see many videos about it,
right?
But I thought it was interesting, so I made a video. You know what I mean? Because, like, that was crazy to me. Like the numbers were just insane. But yeah, I mean, I reached out to him, and you know what I mean, like. I didn't know him I never heard of him before, nothing like that. You know what I mean? We had a nice conversation or whatever, and he agreed to come on. And you know what I mean? Like, you just guys, like, the reason why I wanted him to come on is because I wanted to hear his story. I wanted to hear what exactly was going on. You know what I mean? with that, just try to get some background, some context of what the issue really was, because nobody, I think Jumperman Chris talked to him through FaceTime on his video, and it was like 2 minutes long. It really wasn't long at all. There was no context. It was just,
Right.
you know what I mean? So I
Right.
wanted to dig deeper into this because, guys, like, as part of the sneaker community, I know a lot of you guys that are watching this right now have at one time bought sneakers from StockX, or are currently
Yep.
still buying sneakers from
Yep.
StockX
Yep.
or other apps and stuff like that. So, I mean, like, I don't want to
We
see
all want to purchase
everybody.
and trust them, but we don't want to be victims of them. So
Listen, I care. This sounds corny, but everybody that shows up to my videos, that comments, that I know of, and people that keep coming back, like,
right.
I care about you. Like, I don't
Right.
want you to
Right.
be scammed. Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, even when, some of you guys DM me, like KB, he'll comment on videos, how my quality control. Like, I feel bad because, like, I know how much, like, that person, wanted that particular
Right.
speaker. You know what I mean?
Right.
Even though it has nothing to do with me. I'm like, oh man,
Right.
because if it was me, I know that how I would feel.
And it's crazy. Like, as small as I am, I'll get people commenting to me or DMing me, asking me, like, what do I think about the quality control on their shoes? Like, and in the beginning, I was like, wow, I'm just me. I tell people, like, all the time, I am not the end all be all. Like, there are certain things when it comes to shoes that I know to look for, but I'm never going to tell you that I'm going to be able to 100% legit check your shoes. And I've told people that in DMs and stuff like that. I'm like, I can point out some things to you that might be of question.
Right.
And, I can leave you, with an idea of how you want to go from there, but always get another opinion. And I, a lot of times I feel bad. Like, I feel bad that I cannot definitively give them a 100%, yes, this is real, no, this is fake, because I know what it feels like to have purchased a fake shoe and been, robbed in essence, robbed for my money. So, and I never want anybody to go through that feeling. So, it's crazy.
Nitro, the UA creator, is getting more views than me. I just don't want that. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, they got their own separate community, which is the same community, because I'm sure a lot of those people that watch UA videos also watch our videos, and and stuff like that. I mean, like, it's the same community. It's just like a, what I mean? It's like religion, it's basically the same, except for, what I mean? There's like differences here or there, but
I mean, them getting views is cool.
Yeah, I really don't mind it. Like, I know people, like, just like, they're stuck in their ways, and it's this or that. Like, the fact of the matter is, man, like, I don't care what people do. You know what I mean? Like, as long as you're happy with what you're doing, it's fine with me. Like, you know what I mean?
They look at content creators such as ourselves as the upper class, the bougie, however you want to put it, and they look at themselves as the average Joes, or I don't understand it. But
yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's all psychology and whatnot. Like, like, I grew up poor. Like, I couldn't afford any of this stuff. I'm still, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not rich. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? I don't make any money off YouTube. Like, I'm not, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just love sneakers, and it fascinates me. And, the whole, whether you hate resellers or, I mean, whatever your deal is, you love UAs, like, whatever that is, totally cool with me. You know what I mean? Everybody has their own opinion. Everybody has their own outlook on what, they're going for, or what they're striving to be, or whatever. And, I mean, when I was growing up, I wore sneakers from, like, discount stores, or like the sneakers, whatever, you know what I mean? They had no brand name or nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? So I can see why people, who may not have the money to buy the legit thing, or maybe think it's stupid to spend so much money on the legit thing. Like, any way you slice it, like, it's your money. You can do whatever you want. But basically, this man who came on this live stream tonight essentially was robbed. You know what I mean? He was let down by a company that he put faith into, because, even though they didn't sell him the sneakers, sellers on that platform
Right.
sold fake sneakers, but it was up to them to authenticate and make sure that he got a legit product.
Right. You
So
spent 10 grand. 6 of that
yeah,
was stolen.
right.
4
Basically,
of that was actually like, okay. I
right.
don't know about anybody else, but I wouldn't want to be robbed for 6 grand.
We're talking, you know what I mean? He's basically paying normal resale prices. So that the Mocha or whatever that was fake or a UNC, he
Right.
spent $400-500 on a UA that those people would send us DMs on Instagram every day offering to give it to us for free if
Right.
we would do content for them.
Right.
You know
Right.
what I'm saying?
Right.
And he's paying
Right.
400-500. Like that's a problem. That's a real problem. And
Right.
he's just real laid back and cool, like still ordering from StockX, because he sees all these apps and all these legit checking places basically is the same. You know what I mean? He's not even
Right.
like faulting StockX because
Right.
the whole process of the way that these companies authenticate sneakers, you know, whether it's StockX or Goat or whether it's eBay or whatever, they all have the same pretty much process, you know, according to what he believes. So, but yeah, I mean, like he got lucky because I really don't think had his Instagram post not gotten as much attention that it did, he would probably be stuck with those sneakers.
Right. He'd
Um,
be sitting on $6,000 worth of
yeah,
fakes.
I mean, he's talked about how StockX reached out to him. They sent him some labels so that he could return the sneakers so that they could take a second look at them.
Right. And that's not even guaranteeing that they're gonna like
Right.
do the right thing and give him his money.
Right. I mean, if I was him, obviously, I mean, I don't even know, like, because I would really need to think. I would really have to have the fake shoes in here and be that mad to.
Right.
I know, like, for me, I would just I would make videos every day about you.
Right.
Every
Right.
day at noon, you're gonna
Right.
get a video with, you know what I mean, with my anger, my ire
Right.
directed at you every single day. But not everybody got that. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I mean, it's just an unfortunate situation. I mean, he's a super cool dude. He
Right.
obviously didn't want his face out there and stuff like
Yeah.
that. And even
Yeah.
his
For
Instagram,
obvious
like he
reasons.
doesn't
Yeah.
his Instagram, all he posts, like he don't sell on there or nothing like that. Like
Right.
he's, you know, all his posts were just like on feet pics and stuff like that. And he never showed his face.
Right.
I went through his
I
whole
mean, he
yeah,
deals with a lot of sought after merchandise, a lot of high end merchandise, and I mean, he's a reseller of sneakers, and you see what happens to people just trying to buy one pair at stores, let alone hundreds of pairs. So yeah, I can understand why he didn't want to show his face, but like dealing with StockX, like you said, I don't know how I would handle that. Like
yeah,
honestly, I would have to honestly, StockX would have to bring me out to their location. We'd have to sit down and go through every single one of those shoes. And
right.
then I have to watch them destroy each and every pair that they deem to be fake. I'm like, because I wouldn't be okay with them like doing whatever with them up in the air or whatever. I don't trust StockX enough for them to just like send them in, tell me which ones are fake and which ones are real, and do the right thing with the fake ones. Like I don't trust them enough for that.
Yeah. Your average sneaker guy says, my issue is how can you authenticate a sneaker when retail have their flaws as well? So like you said, James, who's to say who's going to be the gatekeeper that says these are legit or not? Yeah, exactly. Exactly. KB, always they sell as real. The new Wave Lee rep reviews pop because you see the shoe 9 out of 10. You can't even see this shoe in stores. Yeah, and that's another thing. That's a good point. Like I remember being a kid, or you know what I mean. You know, not even that long ago, really. You would be able to go into a store and they would have them. You know what I mean, up there. I used to try Jordans on, bro. You can't try Jordans on. Like they're not there. You know what I mean? Like I used to. You know what I mean? I remember trying on 4s and 7s, and you know what I mean. Yeah, you can't even do that. Like that's a good point, man. Yeah. So you know,
a lot of big YouTubers made their large following by doing early reviews of rep pairs.
This is why this happens. They are putting that energy out there. The wise soul. And that's the real problem, HGK.
Yeah.
Like one guy told me if I have retail and another guy have a UA pair and they both standing side by side, nobody gonna tell which pair is real or fake from a distance. Some of them are really good. Some
Yeah, you can.
obviously,
Some you can tell.
some you can
I've seen
definitely
like
tell.
I've seen a pair of fakes from a distance, and I knew they were fakes. But the whole point is, who's gonna really call you out?
If you wear
Uh,
UAs, you shouldn't be in sneaker battles.
you know, somebody brought that up. Somebody brought that up as a point. I think it was Coffee with the Folk. Um, because somebody won a sneaker battle, and it was like I think it was like money on the line in that sneaker battle,
And
and
they
they
were showing
won a
UAs.
sneaker battle with a bunch of fakes. Like I can see how that's a problem.
Nitro, I'm okay people getting reps, and it's not just don't try and sell them as real. Yeah, I mean
Absolutely,
that's
yeah,
really that's the
that's
only
a real
thing.
big problem.
I mean, honestly, yeah, just don't do that. You know what I mean? Like,
Right,
I mean,
right,
it seems like it would be like common sense or whatever, but like you're gonna sell them as real. If you're gonna sell them as real and knock somebody over the head for $500 for a fake product,
right, right,
that's a really shady thing to do. I mean,
right.
that's just real. I mean, because you
Now, if
don't.
you want to get in your rep community and sell them as reps
Yeah,
and throw out a made up number that you want to sell them for, somebody buy, hey, that's fine because everybody knows they're reps. But
right.
don't come over to this side of the yard and sit there and try to sell your fakes as like the real deal.
Yeah, I mean, and like I said, I mean, it's not something that I personally want to do. Like, I don't want to get into reps. It's not my thing. Like I said,
Right,
my whole thing with sneakers is I look at them as like art, and I love wearing them. But
right,
I like the chase. You know what I mean? Like
right,
it's like a beautiful girl that you want to be with. You know what I mean? Sometimes you get her, sometimes you don't. You know what I mean?
right,
You definitely don't want, you know what I mean, like a fake version of her. You know what I'm saying? Like
right.
I don't know, dude. Like I know that's a really terrible analogy, but um, certified old Dean, what's up, bro? What's up, my guy? Definitely go check out the homie certified old Dean. He's definitely a friend of the channel. GDN Corp, Goat and Stadium Goods. Sunny Boy Soprano. I got fake rebellion from StockX.
See, I've heard a couple people when those drops said that. I saw a couple of videos where StockX sold fake rebellionaires, and they were at the time they were like going for a good little bit of change. I mean, now they've dropped in price,
Yeah.
and that's one of the biggest problems. Like,
I got a really good story about that in KB who's in here. That shoe, I tried everything to get that shoe. Like I still like I said, I like that shoe. I know a lot of people are down on it because resale isn't good or whatever. But I tried everything to get that shoe for retail, and they dropped on Undefeated, and I took a L like that. Like everybody did. And they went and canceled every bot order for that shoe. Canceled them all. And
right,
I gave up because like obviously it was a wrap, right? It's like that drop was at 10. It was around like 1 or 2 or 3 in the afternoon, something like that. And KB commented on one of my videos, said, "Hey, Undefeated canceled all the bot orders. Like they're back up on the app, on the website." I'm
right.
like, "Oh man, hey, good looking." Like I went on there, I just kept adding a cart, 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 adding a cart until it let me check out. I spent maybe an hour trying to do this. No, I'm serious. Like
That's dedication,
and that's what it is to me. It's like the chase.
and
Like
you
you know
don't
how
see
good
that
I
X
felt.
on the box in the
You know how
back.
good I
So,
felt after like I got that. You don't get
right,
that when you just, you know what I mean? Like I don't know.
right, right. And that X in the background, right above his head, it proves it. It proves the dedication. Yep,
It's right there.
yep.
I actually have I have 2 or 3 pairs of those because they were so cheap.
Jeez.
They're all legit. So shout out to KB, man. That dude's from Pittsburgh. Shout out to you, my
Shout
brother.
out to KB.
Your average sneaker guy. I believe they try and get to the T because at the end of the day, it's still a shoe and you have to wear it. So it's still a sneaker, even if it's a UA. Like I said, I mean, like I grew up real poor, so I mean, like I get why people do those things or whatever. You know what I mean? Like I get it, man. I mean, it's just you know what I mean? Now that I'm an adult or whatever, and like I have a job, like, you know, I'm gonna buy what
Right.
I want, and hopefully I get the
Right.
legit thing. You know what I mean? Now
Right.
I'm starting to question a lot of things. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
Right.
my rebellionaires from here he goes. My billionaires from Undefeated look faker than the ones from StockX. Oh man. What else he say? The X is way off to the right, and the color gray is way off. The ones, and that's another thing. Like Nike's quality control is just so bad. So you have a legit pair that looks fake, like that, like his. You know what I mean? You know, I bet you, like, yeah, because like if you showed that to somebody, they would probably think it's a UA. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like, oh, it's off, so it's
Right.
definitely not real.
Right.
Meanwhile, that came directly from, you know what I mean, a retailer. Champ 910. Back in the day, they would say Jimmy Jazz was selling fake shoes. Man, I heard that before too.
Interesting.
Guys, like I said, please hit that like button if you haven't already. I don't know what the like count is, but you know what I mean. Please hit that like button. Subscribe if you're new to the channel.
Just make the like count look good.
Facts, man. But no, I heard that. I heard that. Not just Jimmy Jazz, but like a lot of retail. Not a lot, but like, I heard that like store employees they would get UAs because obviously, store employees at retailers have access to the stock. It's you know it sits
Right.
there for a
Right.
month or two before like they're actually
Right.
allowed to sell it, and then
Actually,
like
at
employees
least,
like
yeah.
they'll swap out a real pair with a fake pair,
Right.
then sell the real pair. You know
That's
what I mean?
terrible.
I've heard
Yeah.
I've heard that. I mean, and that goes back to, you know, like obviously you get your Foot Locker receipt, you believe you got a real legit pair because you bought it from Foot Locker or whatever retailer, and then obviously that's a UA.
Right.
It goes back to gatekeeping, like who's gatekeeping this stuff? You know what I mean? Because you know, if you try to sell that sneaker and you give the person that you're selling it to the Foot Locker receipt or whatever, you know what I mean? Like, oh, this is real.
Right.
Meanwhile, I mean, it's just it's
I never
crazy.
heard that about Jimmy Jazz, but then at the same time, I
This was
never
back in
really
the
paid
day.
attention to
This
Jimmy
this
Jazz.
was like 3 years ago.
Yeah, I've never
And
even paid attention to Jimmy Jazz, to be honest with you, until what, maybe last year. Um, like I'm really weird like that. Like I can X things out of my mind instantaneously and just like they're in my rear view or they're off to the side where I can't see it. Like,
yeah. I don't really mess with Jimmy Jazz just because like their website is so botted. Like you can't get nothing on release
right,
day.
right,
You know
right,
what I mean? Like
right.
so I don't even I really don't even mess with retailers on release day. Like if I get the raffle, cool. If I don't, oh well. Sneakers app it
I
is.
think I think that was the only thing that excited me about Jimmy Jazz because, like I said, I was able to get my girlfriend's Marina Blue Jordan ones because like Jimmy Jazz's pickup time is so ridiculous, and I was in the mall and it just happened to hit me. I'm like, wait a minute, like they dropped here, and what time is it? 2. Their pickup time is 12. Let me go in here and see. I'm like, it's the middle of the work week, so I mean,
Yeah. You know where I
and
stand. You know where I stand on that. We talked about that numerous times.
right, right. And she wears them. They all laced up and everything. And, she got
Mhm.
a little crease in there, but not too crazy. But she wears them. I
Yeah.
live vicariously through her because mine are still dead stock. Most of my shoes are still dead stock. But yeah,
Nitro, I don't use check or legit check for my personal. I try to multiple go. I guess try to go to multiple resale shops. That's probably a good
you know
thing.
what? I have a problem with resale shops too because a lot of times resale shops will be the ones that will sell you fakes as well.
Yeah, like the Jordan 11s that come out 6 months ahead of time all the time.
Right. Because there's a shop that got a lot of flack in Georgia. It was either I think it was Heat ATL. They were got a lot of heat for selling fakes.
Yeah. Champ 910. Personally, the only thing Nike could do as a whole is to give true quality and low quantities. That way, without a question, you already know. Yeah, but then you're affecting the bottom line. I mean, I don't know how they do the stock numbers anyway. So that, I mean, now obviously that's a real possibility. I think that they have to have some kind of microchip in them or
Yeah,
something that
yeah,
you know what I
yeah.
mean.
Because then you would have to ask the question: how low enough do the quantities have to be in order for the the fakes to be intrusive, for the fakes not to be as effective, and them still be able to make a profit. Because at the end of the day, Nike is all about profit, which is why certain shoes are limited to a certain quantity and versus other shoes. And they basically make their money off the hype and the numbers. So, I mean, like, what quantifies the limited quantity?
Certified Olden. StockX needs to step up for real.
They've had like 5 years to step up now. I don't think they're gonna do it.
Johnny's Luck is one of my OG subscribers. Shout out to you, bro. I'm not
Shout
sure.
out to Johnny.
Shout out to Johnny. I'm not sure how it would work, but I think U.S. Customs should try to crack down harder on fake merch coming from overseas. I think that they do.
They do, yeah.
But it comes in at like a ridiculously high amount.
Yeah, yeah.
And then if you really want to get your tin foil hat on, the United States is in debt to China, like trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars. So I'm sure on some level, some of that stuff is expected to come in.
Right.
Not to be like a conspiracy theorist or anything, but follow the money. When you follow the money.
Because there's a video on YouTube. I forgot the name of the video because it's been so long since I've watched it. But I think the number on a weekly basis of fake items that tries to come through customs that they actually catch is in the billions. I think it's like
I heard that.
billions of dollars worth of fake materials that try to that get caught through customs, and for every certain number, I'm just gonna throw out a number, like for every 5 items that comes through customs that are fake, maybe 3 or 4 get caught. So I mean that's a pretty good number. But if you put it on the thousands scale, I mean, it's not the best. It's not what you would hope for.
And you guys got to remember too, it's not just sneakers, it's purses, right. It's shoes, it's clothing, it's everything out there that can be faked or counterfeited. I mean, things that you wouldn't even think of are counterfeited and sent over here.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's a way bigger problem.
I've seen guitars in that video. I've seen guitars, watches, furniture, wallets, clothing, car parts. That's another big one, car parts. And like a whole bunch of other stuff that like you wouldn't necessarily think about on a regular.
Yeah, I mean it's every walk of life. Anything with anything that can be faked will be faked.
Right.
So I mean it's just, I don't know. It's probably no way to stop it altogether. Bro, Undefeated gave me my Rebellionaires. One tomboy was light gray. He still won this. Another one was dark. Like they were fake ones from StockX. Were checked by multiple sources and are real and look different. He's got like the worst luck when it comes to quality control with sneakers.
That sucks. That sucks.
Nitro, in the past, I have applied to StockX warehouse before and didn't get hired. They need to hire. I don't know what they need to do. I don't know.
They need thousands of staff members.
They need Chick-fil-A to come in and run StockX. You know what I mean?
Right. Give you service with a smile.
Whatever their training program is, like you go to Chick-fil-A, everybody's happy to be there. I never.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like
no matter how miserable they are on the inside,
I mean?
they're happy as hell on the outside.
Yeah. 90% of 60 pairs from Nike came in looking like it's ridiculous. The QC, that's why they can't tell anymore. Yeah, I agree.
That's crazy. I've never had that kind of experience. Now I had a friend that was so high on getting a pair of Heritages, and his brother hit on a pair for him from straight from sneakers. like one shoe had been over pressed into the midsole, so it definitely was shorter than the other one. But that's because it was pressed so hard down into the midsole that like too much of the shoe was in the midsole. So it was not only was it leaning, but it was shorter. So I mean, I've seen it, so I can't say you're wrong, but I've never experienced it thus far. Knock on wood. Knock knock.
Nitro says, smash that like button and hit that subscribe button. Facts.
Absolutely.
Facts. Definitely go check Nitro out too, man. He's an up and coming YouTuber.
It looks like this, but not quite like this.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
But,
geez, my head is big, or is it the camera?
let's see. Should we now not trust StockX? I just purchased a pair of military 4s and some shadow ones. Should I be concerned?
I'm not the best judge when it comes to StockX.
I mean, I would if it was me, I would be definitely worried. I'm not telling you that you should worry, and I don't want to. This isn't like anything to like necessarily bash StockX. Obviously, there's a problem here all across the board as far as authenticating sneakers. I did a video on the military 4s. I was able to get 2 pairs for retail. When they come in, watch my video, man, and try to compare them up. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's really, really hard. Like how Homegrown was talking about, people will send us pictures and be like, "Hey, does this look real to you?" It's almost impossible for us to verify a sneaker authentic by pictures on the internet without actually having them in hand. You know what I mean?
Because
like
a lot of things play in the factors, like the light quality in which you took the photos.
Yeah.
What angles? Now, like, you can DM me on Instagram, as well as look at this video, and send me as many pictures as possible if you have questions, because that's really what the thing is gonna be. Is those photos, and I can try to help as much as possible. James, this video can help as much as possible, but the old adage is, and I'm going to be neutral because I don't like StockX, but the old adage is trust nothing, question everything. So, you know, if you look at your shoes, or if you're worried about StockX after, you know, the conversation and, you know, hearing about our experiences and knowing what we know, then you get your shoes in, it's probably best for your sanity to check your shoes. Like, check, measure. What is it? Measure twice, cut once. Yeah, that's another one. Yeah, old people lingo. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. If you have a friend or something that has those pairs, try to compare them to them. Because even though the UAs are good, there's always something off. Like the colors will be off on. You know what I mean? On some, it's hard to tell with a white sneaker, but like the shadows would probably be.
Get yourself a black light as well. That'll help you with.
Well, bro, like that black light thing, like that don't even work no more.
Yeah. Well, if you look at the box, the black light helps you with the box, because like what those fake 350s.
Mm-hmm.
I have a pair of fake 350s that somebody was given, and they asked me to check them out. They were what is it? I forgot the name, but the tan with the orange on it and whatever. The black light I hit the black light on the boost, and there was a huge stamp on the boost. And a pair of, what was it? Concord 11s. The shoes looked absolutely real, but there were certain things about it that kind of drew questions. Now, if I were to take those shoes and just hand them off to somebody, be like, hey, I got some, you know, Concord 11s.
Mm-hmm.
Even the best shoe person wouldn't be able to tell that they were fake. But something just didn't feel right. And I found these while I was at work. And I hit the box with a black light, and that's what really told me. The box, the shoes didn't necessarily tell me, but the box did. So, you know.
Get it's
I've caught a
Prime Day
couple
tomorrow
things.
or something like that. Order yourself a black light, man.
Right.
StockX changed my password, and I keep doing change my password, and even had them send me one to my email, and I can't change it. Can't get it in my account now.
Wow.
He's told me about this before. He's been working.
Yeah.
He's been having.
StockX sucks to me, but
Yeah.
that's just.
Chris Brown, what's up, my guy? Very reason I
It's your
don't buy
man
resale.
on the floor. If he ain't.
Yeah, bro, your new album's tight. Nah, Chris Brown, another OG subscriber, man. Yeah, man. I mean, some people are, retail or nothing.
Right.
That's not a bad way to live, honestly. You're always gonna take more L's than W's, especially on
Right.
hype stuff. But I mean, at least if it
I
matters to
tried
you.
that. Getting into sneakers, I tried to say that, but that itch, man, I caught the itch and I was like, well, let me just do it one time. And I did it one time. It's like a drug addict, man. That one time turns into like 3 or 4, and you were like, and it kind of escalates from there.
Another problem that I've been having, I've tried to buy some early sneakers twice now.
Right.
First was the military blacks on GOAT. And I normally have no problem with GOAT, but I tried to buy those. The seller canceled my order or whatever because the prices shot up.
Right.
This was before it released, mind you. Like,
right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
I want to say that like I think they were like $350, and like is what I paid.
That was a real good price. That would have been
for like a month early.
Right.
It wasn't so bad because I mean they're 30 something anyway. So I was like, oh, I won't have to worry about it. And then I already have them and whatever. And they canceled my order, and then I tried to buy the Fire Red 3s recently.
Yeah. Wow. And, okay.
No, listen. So every size except for mine was like $6, $8, $9, $1,000. My size was $253.
What?
I click buy, and then seller canceled because now they're.
Oh, they probably paid attention to the other prices.
$600 or whatever. So I didn't get them. So that's the problem that I've been having, with trying to buy sneakers, because like once people realize that the price is this or whatever, then they raise them up or whatever. Like that shoe's never going to be $600 in my opinion.
You do that too many times on GOAT, and they start penalizing your account.
They do.
I think you only get 3 times to do that.
I talked to somebody on GOAT about that or whatever, and he said that if I want to rebuy the sneaker both times, that I reached out to somebody or whatever, they said I can, and then it definitely wouldn't be that seller because when they take that down, like whenever they refuse to sell the sneaker for that price or whatever, they have I think it's either, I can't remember what he said. I think it was 2 weeks to where they're not allowed to sell the sneaker.
Right.
So, Donna, hey. How are you?
Hey.
Thanks for stopping through tonight. Appreciate you. Jose B, they're working them to the bone. I guess you mean the StockX.
Yeah.
Cool. Amir, where does everybody buy shoes for resale? I have never had a problem with GOAT.
Yeah.
Except for them canceling, like sellers canceling on me.
Right.
But GOAT has come through a couple of times when there was like a little bit of QC issues.
Right.
And they messaged me and asked me if I wanted to take a discount to get like the sneaker that had a little bit of problems, or they would find me another pair. Every time I looked at the pictures, I had them find me another pair, and they did.
Right.
So, for the price that I paid. As long as the seller ships the sneaker,
right.
I have not had a problem on GOAT.
Right.
Now GOAT is owned, I think, 50% by Foot Locker. And they're definitely owned by Foot Locker. I just don't know. I know that I don't know the percentage. I don't know if it's 50%. It's something, but it's a big number. Like they're all in on GOAT.
Right.
So I think that probably helps a little bit with authentication because they actually have the sneakers, and even though it's like a separate company outside of Foot Locker, I mean, I don't know. I feel better going with them than StockX. StockX. Every time I've ordered from StockX in the past, which was twice, no problem except for the shipping took like forever.
Right. I was gonna say I've ordered twice from StockX, um, and I don't remember having any issues with those two purchases. I just have the only issue I've ever had with StockX was their poor customer service when it came to my account being hacked because it was $5 grand, and that's a lot of money. Like $5 grand to anybody unless you're freaking Bill Gates or Elon Musk. That's a lot of money. I've done most of my shoe purchasing from Goat, and I've never had a problem with Goat. Now I have had like QC issues, like James has said, and it was for a pair of Air Max 90 Cuban links. But the first time I was sent the wrong size. I don't know how or why I was sent the wrong size. It could have been me or whatever, but Goat immediately took those back. I didn't have any questions other than, hey, just send them back. We'll give you your money. We're sorry it happened. And then another pair, because I reordered the same pair of shoes. The second pair, like they were terrible QC. Like I'm pretty sure the QC was coming from Nike, but it looked like somebody had put the top on the sole incorrectly, pulled it off, and tried to put it back on there. And it was just huge gaps in the midsole and the upper. And like the toe had gaps in it to where like it looked like I would probably only be able to get 2 wears out of it. And the front toe covering was gonna peel right off. So I sent pictures to Go, and they were like, oh yeah, sorry, that's not what we consider good quality. And they allowed me to get my full refund back for that. So I've had good experiences with Go, and I've done a couple purchases with eBay as well, and I haven't had any issues with eBay.
Yeah, eBay's been solid for me too.
Yeah.
Homegrown, shout out your Instagram, man.
If y'all want to follow me on Instagram, because I'm super active on Instagram. I'm more active on Instagram than YouTube. I'm trying to be more active on YouTube, just like things. But if you want to follow me on Instagram, it's homegrown and then an underscore kicks. So it's basically the same thing, but with an underscore in between homegrown and kicks. Instagram wouldn't let me put my YouTube and other platforms' names on there.
All right, yeah, definitely go check him out if you guys have Instagram. Liam, crazy, they're already doing All Moment Your Force. Yeah, I seen him yesterday on Instagram, and then I forget who posted it or whatever. It was somebody that I follow, or a publication that I follow had pictures of them, and I clicked on it and whatever. I mean, they're just like the mock-ups, like the color scheme basically looks like the All Moment Year 3s, but it's the 4. GDN Corp. I think Nike and other major sneaker brands should add an extra security level to their products. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, because they got to have some kind of, the technology that we have nowadays, and like we really don't know if a sneaker is real or not. That's ridiculous. And the amount of money that Nike makes and has, they should definitely have some kind of process for that.
Right.
Now, there is people that believe that Nike's in on the UA thing.
I do. Well, I don't know if Nike's in on the UAs, but I believe Nike is in on the whole like reselling process, the whole like the whole crazy circus behind what's really going on. And I would go as far as to pull a Kanye West and say Nike doesn't care about sneakerheads. Like,
Joe, StockX ain't getting any purchases from me over $100. Not worth it on these huge purchases, like you guys said.
So you couldn't StockX off completely, because ain't nothing under $100 on StockX. Like everything is over 100.
Damn near everything is over $100 in retail now. Like, besides
except
maybe
for Travis Scott merch, like all of that's under $100. Hey.
You get yourself a T-shirt.
Right.
Maybe that'll be legit. I don't know. I'm sure there's bootleg Travis Scott shirts out there.
Absolutely.
I appreciate you guys being patient with us, getting to these comments. I didn't really want to get into like the comments while we had Roy on tonight because I knew we didn't have him for hours like we stay on here. We only had him for a short time. So,
Right.
Joe says, "Run it up, run it up, run it up. Support is free.
Support is free. It costs you nothing. We appreciate your time because your time is valuable and you spend it with us.
Yeah, appreciate you, Jose. Is Nike even attempting to repel against the resale market? If somebody's willing to spend $2K on a shoe, surely they want the consumer to spend money with them.
Nope.
I mean, it's better for them. I don't fully understand why it's better for them. It's probably better for them in the long run because it keeps people knowing that Nike's valuable.
Right.
Their
right.
shoes are valuable.
Right.
Because Nike can't charge you $2,000 for a Travis Scott.
Right. Right.
But Homegrown could charge me $2,000 for a Travis Scott.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So from that aspect, you know what I mean? It keeps their product, valuable. It keeps people interested in it. I mean, if they really, honestly, like we can complain about stock numbers all we want. And like I said, I don't totally understand all that stuff all the time because it makes no sense. But in theory, if they made 1 million pairs of every hype sneaker that ever came out, it would kill the resale market. It would definitely kill it. But it would hurt them too because, think about something like an Off-White.
But in a sense, Nike is selling us a Travis Scott for $2,000
in a way
because Nike has a relationship with StockX. In the forefront, like they say, the best way to hide something is in front of their face.
Right.
In the forefront, Nike only cares about getting rid of their stock. They don't care how their stock is gotten rid of. They just care about getting rid of it so they can move on to the next. Resellers help that along with, the frenzy of the average everyday consumer. The resellers, even the average everyday consumers, throw those shoes up on StockX. They sell for $2,000. StockX makes their cut, and then Nike makes their cut of that as well. So I mean, like, and that's basically hiding something in plain sight.
Right. Carl, yeah, saw the 550 video. I assume they were better quality than they are.
Oh yeah, he's talking about Rose Anvil. Yeah, that guy's good. He started to cut into popular consumer shoes. It's really good.
Shoe Nation, what's good, everyone? What's up, Shoe Nation, man? How are you tonight?
What's good in the nation? Are the shoes all good? That's what we're trying to figure out.
Carl, yeah, the fees make them the same as others. Yeah. David Wright, what's up, my dude? What's good, fellas? What's up with you, bro? Nice to see you come up in here and spend some time with us. Appreciate you, man. That's my homie right there. StockX got the most fakes too. Definitely seems that way. I don't know if they're any worse than anybody else, but it's scale. It's scale. They get the most sales. They're obviously going to have the most problems. Like, I mean, I don't know if you've ever worked in the food industry or whatever. You know what I mean? You get 200 orders, you know what I mean, a day. And then, 10% of that, 20% of that's going to be complaints. You know what I mean? It's every business. You're definitely going to have that.
You made me want some Chick-fil-A talking about Chick-fil-A earlier. Bro, like that thought process just set in. I'm not even a huge fan of Chick-fil-A.
StockX low key turning into ASSC customer service. Joe, the reverse mocha price is around $1,500 to $1,600 for sales right now. They that low? Bro, I'm gonna buy one right now if they're $1,500. Hoping they keep going lower than Little Timmy, get them in hand. We'll see the next few weeks. Thanks for going live. No problem, man. Thanks for stopping through tonight. Yeah, I'm gonna definitely check out that, man. That Travis is something I really, I mean, I hope and pray I get hit for resale. But like Homegirl was just saying, man, like V Gonzalez, when I purchase kicks from StockX and it comes from China or Taiwan, it's questionable. If they're coming from the UK or Belgium, you can tell they are legit. Not necessarily, because a lot of shoes, and when I try to buy early sneakers, is when they drop in other countries. So
Right.
they'll drop in China, they'll drop in, the UK and stuff like that
Right.
before it drops over here. Not all the time. Most times they drop over there first. So these companies like StockX, they have hubs all over the world. You know what I mean? So just because it's coming from there, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be fake. Although I could see why you would be skeptical, but that's not, you know what I mean? That's not an end all be all. Definitely do your homework when the sneakers come in and stuff like that. There's some people who think just because DHL delivers them that they're fake too. And that's, I mean, they're a normal shipping company.
Right.
I find StockX has way more tried on pairs than anywhere else. They shouldn't, because you can't even sell used pairs on there like you can on GOAT. They're supposed to all be dead stock. I had issues before eBay with certain SB Dunks. It was going to be a fake. I just got my money back quickly. Yeah, and that's a good thing too about PayPal. Yeah. You can just, dispute it if you need to. One sneaker retail price 500 or more, I'm out of the sneaker game.
If retail prices ever got to five, like, to be honest, there is a certain level of ridiculousness.
Yeah.
And that's where like the economic scales come into play. And I know they're pretty high right now because of like the obvious over the last 2 years. But if retail prices ever get to the point where they're 500, I'll be in the grave where I don't have to worry about it. Because like only time I see retail prices getting 500 is like 2100 or something like that in the year 2100 in the desolate future, where like
I'm gonna tell you like this, like, as much as that sounds crazy, someday it will happen. It's gonna be a long time, like Homegrown just said. It's gonna be a minute.
They're trading puppies for washcloths.
Some shoes do retail from Jordan Brand, like those electric Jordan 11s.
Well, yeah.
Like those are $500, but like they're special or
right.
But I know what he's saying. You see all these shoes back here? I could probably never buy another sneaker ever again, and I probably don't need to. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like it's a love that, something that I'm in. So yeah, I mean, would I pay 500? I probably would, be honest with you, but I would be super selective. Like,
but you'd be spending your retirement checks at that point. Like,
yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah. Shoe Nation, I don't think I'd ever buy a hype pair on StockX. Only bricks shoes barely rep. I mean, yeah. One of the worst thing people ask in rep communities is if their rep pass check. If they come with all the tags. Yeah, I've seen people actually ask that.
Absolutely.
You know what though? You would normally at face level, you think that when they ask that question, you go right to, they're going to try to sell it as real.
Right.
That may be the case. I think that some people ask that question because they're afraid of being called out for wearing fakes.
Yeah.
And if they can pass check, they can run it through check and keep that on them. So if they do get called out, you see what I mean?
It's kind of like a double-edged sword.
It's like an insecurity kind of thing.
Right. Because if you're trying to get your shoes checked, your fake shoes checked, so that nobody will call you out, then that kind of negates what a lot of people who wear reps say of it doesn't matter. If you're doing that, it clearly does matter, and they're clearly not the same.
Right.
If you're doing it to, I mean, we'll talk about that on another live or something like that, because trying to justify or trying to rationalize people who wear reps, it's a twisted.
Yeah, I mean, we could probably do a whole live just on that.
Yeah.
GDN, hope he gets some kind of justice. So he did
justice for Roy.
He did say that StockX has reached out to him after the attention that he's been getting. I don't know. I obviously I've been in contact with him. I told him to, you know, keep me informed
We're gonna get justice for Roy t-shirts.
as to what happens. Obviously, the more he passes along to me, if he's okay with me passing it along to
Right,
you guys, I will.
right,
Like I said, he has sent me a lot of information that hasn't been publicly out there that I have personally seen, and you know, I'm not going to share that. I've touched on that. He sent me the receipts. He sent me, you know, his basically his whole StockX account. You
right.
know what I mean? And
That's a
like,
lot of trust, man. That's a lot of trust,
yeah,
man. Shout out to Roy.
yeah, man. You know, and I don't know him, you know what I mean? But you know what I mean? Like I'm not one of those content creators that just causes drama kind of thing. Like that's not what I do.
Right,
You know what I
right.
mean? Like so I mean obviously I'm sure he checked into my channel and stuff, you know what I mean? So um but yeah, I mean I seen it. He actually I have some DMs from him right now that I'll read after the stream. I don't know what he's saying, but
Yeah,
but
I'll
yeah,
chat
if
it up with you.
whatever he's okay with me putting out to you guys,
Right.
I will, you know what I mean, as long as he's okay with that or whatever. Shoe Nation, I don't get people who spend hundreds and hundreds on pairs of reps. I saw a guy on Rep Sneakers who had a whole storage unit of reps. To me, that's a huge waste of money. Real pairs will always be worth more. Yeah.
Reps don't have any value unless you're lying to people.
They don't. They don't. Um, You know what some other people do that I've seen is like they'll go out and buy like the $1,800 fragment low or whatever,
Right.
and they'll keep that dead stock, but then they'll buy the rep so that they can
Yeah.
wear it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like I
Yeah.
have seen that, which I mean that kind of makes sense,
I
but
know people who have told me to do that. Like,
yeah, you know, because like they still got their dead stock pair, so you know if their world ever ends and they have to part with it, they can because
right,
it's still dead stock. And
right,
then you know because they like the sneaker, they're still able to wear it. So,
right,
but yeah, a whole warehouse full now. Liam, just think of the people who don't bring it to social media. Exactly.
right, right. The people who don't have the kind of following for somebody to snatch it up and it blows up, and just your average Joe. Like,
Yeah. I mean, and Roy touched on that because I mean, even him, like he made that post, he didn't think that it would get any attention. Like, you know what
right,
I mean? Like that was just an Instagram post. Like he didn't think that it was gonna become what it did. You know what I mean? And you know, he kind of got a little bit lucky there because really seemed like that StockX really wasn't taking him seriously until they got a little bit of a negative publicity because of the situation. So hopefully that all gets worked out for him. I mean, he seemed like a really cool dude. I mean, he was very forthcoming with information and stuff like that.
right.
I know that there was people on my video commenting that, you know, it was cap, even in
What's one of
some sneaker groups that I'm in, you know what I mean?
right.
They thought he was just capping for attention
Roy's
or
one of the coolest resellers I've had the privilege of speaking to. Now,
yeah,
obviously, I've only spoken to him through the live, but he's probably one of the coolest resellers I've spoken to. And I mean, like, I'm pretty sure I'm on the record as saying I'm not a huge fan of resellers.
yeah,
Because like some of the some of the things are very frustrating and annoying about resellers. But I
yeah.
mean, they're people just like us at the end of the day, I guess. I mean, like,
One thing he said to me that he didn't mention on the live is he said that he got into selling sneakers because he was just trying to make money to buy sneakers he liked. You know what I mean? And
oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense.
he's
Yeah,
like, that's how I got into it. You know what I mean? And he just does it on the
yeah,
side.
right,
You know what I mean?
right,
He's like, I was just trying to buy more sneakers that I wanted. You know? And
right, right. I'm
I
pretty
was
sure if
like,
I could get access to shoes like Roy at a good price, I'd probably do the same darn thing.
yeah, and like you know, we talk about, hey, the sneaker market's down, buy now. That's what he was doing.
Right, right,
That's
right,
literally what he was doing. You know what I mean? Like
right,
he was paying resale for the shoes. You know what I mean? He wasn't getting
right,
those mochas came out, you know, a year and a half ago, 2 years ago.
right,
Hyperbola UNC's came out last year. Like he's paying
right,
resale for those. Like, and
right.
he just kind of got screwed a little bit.
Because I've said a bunch of times, let me just hit on one or two pairs of hype shoes. That way I can keep one pair and I can flip the other pair to get money for another shoe that I really want. And I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure that's how it all starts out.
Joe says at the end of the day, these people are working 9 to 5, checking shoes all day, probably without the best training. They won't be 100% checking on a quota. It's pretty insane. I will speak like, you know, you ever work somewhere and like, you know what I mean? I don't think human beings should be working 8 hours a day, 5 days a week.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because, dude, after you're there 6 hours, honestly, that's where I think like the cutoff should be.
They don't do it in Europe.
You know what I mean? Yeah, like, dude, because you start getting tired, and then it's whatever. You might
Like
start
the
out.
US,
You might start out your shift like with energy and you know what I
right.
mean, focus or
The
whatever.
US are the only people that have ridiculous hours and do all this crap.
Yeah, I mean, like every job I ever had, I did not need to be there for 8 hours. Like I could hurry up and do all my work and be done if I really had to. But like,
Right.
you know, like except for, you know, obviously if you work in a restaurant or retail or something like that. But you know what I mean? But yeah, I mean, after dude, when you're 6 hours into your shift, man, you're not as sharp, you're not as awake, no matter if you're drinking,
Right.
no matter what you're doing, man, like you're not at your best. You know what I
Right.
mean? We're human beings. Like we tire down. That's why we go to sleep at night. That's you know what I mean? Like we
Right.
need rest, you know, and that's how mistakes happen, man. Like
And especially like in an internet driven world, like why are we all still sitting at somebody else's office building when the majority of what a lot of people do can be taken care of at home?
not only that, but like we're just talking about the amount of time that people spend all day legit
Right.
checking shit. Imagine if like their girlfriend broke up with them that day. Or like their mother or something sick, or their boss is giving them a hard
Oh
time
yeah.
and being
My
angry. You know what I
girl
mean?
left
Then
me.
it's
You finna get
whatever.
some
Then it's
fakes.
whatever. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, oh, you
Like I don't care what's going on in the world today.
no, but I'm saying like we all have those days as human beings. Like
Right.
shit you know, stuff happens.
I bought some French fries. I bought some fries, and we didn't have no fries. What? You tripping?
Nitro said if I was him, I would make videos until StockX gives me my money back. That's what I said. But he don't have that kind of platform. Like he's not that kind of dude. He's not a content creator or nothing. He just likes shoes and you know what I mean. He doesn't resell on any of that stuff. But if it was me, it were homegrown or one of us, bruh, I would make a video every day about them. You guys would get sick of me because every day would be about I still need my money for them shoes. Every day. every day at noon. Every day at noon. You would get a video from me about, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm saying? But I have that little bit of a small platform. He unfortunately he just got lucky, man. He got lucky.
Right.
He got lucky that people noticed that post, it blew up and went viral a little bit.
Right.
But not everybody got that. You know what I mean?
I did that in the beginning of my channel until I got my money back. I made a video. I got 2 videos about StockX.
Yeah, I'm sure you do.
It was crazy.
Robbie boy, who's to say the sneakers are fake? Just by the pattern of the stitching on the insoles. I mean, that goes back
Sneaker
to the
gatekeeper, the sneaker aficionado gatekeeper. That I don't know.
I mean, he ran it through multiple. Like I said, legit checking all that. Like they're not the end all be all, but he ran those shoes through multiple things. It wasn't even just that he just ran it through one. He ran it through multiple, you know, more than one app, and they came back fake. Certain ones came back fake.
Right.
And obviously he has ones that passed that he's comparing them to as well.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
I think on the original photos that were floating around, he actually like showed it's like a flip through of the multiple streams of checking that he ran them through. And
Robbie,
it was a lot of.
Robbie, if you go watch, I actually showed it in my video that I made about it. It was the last video I posted before this live.
That might have been where I saw it.
Yeah, I showed, like I went on his Instagram and everything, and I showed he goes through like the whole list of the checks from the multiple apps, and I showed it. So if you want to check it out, it's in my video.
Man, shout out to James for staying on top of it and being so diligent.
Hey man, like
getting through the news with a fine-tooth comb, man.
Hey man, like you know what I mean? That's what I do, man. You know what I mean? Like, and you know what? And I made that whole video. Like, I watched a couple other people's videos about it or whatever. Like after I made my video, I try not to watch videos on stuff before I make them if I'm making about the same thing. But I watched some other videos. They're 10, 12 minutes long, dude. I did all that, dropped all that knowledge in under 4 minutes.
In like 8 minutes or something like that. Yeah,
4 minutes. You had the whole story. You know what I mean? If the fakes are that good, then the only way we get a real pair is if from Nike themselves or a large retailer. I mean, that seems to be the only thing that we could trust close to 100 right now.
You're right.
And
you can get fakes from a brick and mortar retail. So
yeah,
I mean, like,
you know, another employee whose girlfriend broke up with him, swapping shoes out in the back stores.
right.
It happens. I mean, do I think it happens like it's scaled? No, but has it happened? It probably has.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, Shoe Nation, that's why you got to be careful, Craig.
Got to be more careful. Don't be sorry. Be helpful.
I'm going to be real. I have a UA pair of fragment lows and a retail pair of fragment lows. They look exactly the same, feel the same. I wear the UA because I just don't feel right wearing the low.
The expensive price. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, he says they look the same and feel the same. I wear the UA because I don't feel right wearing the retail. I mean, I've heard of people doing that, man. You know. But if they look the same and feel the same, that's where this whole thing gets tricky. Bro, after I tried and finally got them after 8 hours, they looked horrible. I had to buy on StockX, and the undefeated pair looked fake, and the grays are different and everything, bro. Yeah. Nitro, also another big problem to a lot of people are impatient and not patient enough to wait certain sneaker prices to go down. Yeah, I mean, definitely panic buying, definitely a lot of gotta have it now kind of thing. But you know, you like what you like. If you work hard and you know you save your money or whatever to buy something, or you know, you just want to buy because you want it. You know what I mean? There's nothing wrong with that either. But yeah, I mean, prices go up, prices go down. It's just, you know, trying to buy it at that right. Like I've overpaid for sneakers, and you know what I mean. Like I way overpaid for my patent bred ones. Like, and now I look at the prices and they're like, you know what I mean. I think that sneaker will go up in the future though, but I still way overpaid for my pair. I don't want to mess that price up. Liam, checking my IG mess. Check my IG message after stream. We'll do, bro. I'll definitely hit the DMs and read your message for sure. Yo, KB is mad about them.
Look, here go KB with this. Like
KB is mad about them rebellions, bro. that's my dog, man. That's my dude.
Oh, that is hilarious.
He be on that, man. Thoughts on Jimmy Jazz buying snipes? I mean, both websites suck. I hardly ever have bought anything off either one. That's impossible.
Did Jimmy Jazz buy Snipes or did Snipes buy Jimmy Jazz?
Either way, doesn't matter to us. Like,
because like if Snipes bought Jimmy Jazz, I mean, not that they would have any choice in it, because I heard Jimmy Jazz was doing pretty terribly, but that's just terrible for Jimmy Jazz. Like Snipes has probably the worst online purchasing system next to DSG. Well, I don't care, man. Dick's Sporting Goods. But that's just awful.
They're both terrible. They're both horrible.
Yeah.
Dick's Sporting Goods, like I used to be able to like low key get W's there until like they started getting like every release, and now I can't get nothing.
Yeah. Like when I started paying attention to Jimmy Jazz and the fact that they had an app, I think I was hitting more on the side of like 80%. I was gonna say 800, but I was hitting like 80% when I was filling out like raffles for Jimmy Jazz, but that was short-lived because their app was shut down. I think I still have the Jimmy Jazz app on my phone because like I saw somewhere where somebody had a certain app on their phone and somebody paid like over $2,000 for their phone just because it had that dead app on there. And I was like, holy smokes. Let me start keeping all my apps.
Why? So StockX needs to go back to their roots with transparency. When they first were out there, I remember they invited a bunch of YouTubers to their shop to show how things operate. You know what, man? Yeah,
I'm not.
I'm gonna keep it like all the way 100 with you guys, like all the way 100.
Yeah.
That dude who owns the Cleveland Cavaliers, what's his name?
Mark Cuban or something like that.
No,
Oh, that's the Mavericks. I'm thinking about the Mavericks.
Gilbert, Sean, I forget his name. His last name is Dan Gilbert.
Hey,
he has, or at least I believe he still has, a majority stake in StockX. And
really?
I was gonna bring this up to Roy. And honestly, I never liked dude ever since he wrote that almost racist letter to LeBron James when he left.
Man, it was racist. I don't know what it was, but it was racist. Pretty sure.
I mean, he ain't say it, but I felt it. You know what I mean?
Right.
And obviously, I didn't think LeBron should have went to Miami. I thought he should have stayed in Cleveland his whole career back in those days. But when he wrote that letter,
yeah,
about LeBron James, I see why he left.
He must have been hurt, man. He must have been really hurt.
I'm sure he was, but like
in the pockets.
But yeah. But yeah, if you guys didn't know, Cleveland Cavalier dude, Dan Gilbert, at least used to own a big portion of StockX. Pretty sure he still does. I'm gonna have to research that one, but
wow.
Yeah, because the people who came up with the idea of StockX got the funding from him.
I think I was in the HHSB's live. Shout out to HHSB. And I said something about the origins of StockX. The guy who started StockX is from Detroit.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay, now that makes sense as to why StockX is so crooked. And somebody got really upset with me for saying that. I'm like, it's okay. It's okay. They're just jokes, people.
Crack House, New York. Can you show the pair receipt for the sneakers? The real bill showing 10K. He sent them to me. I'm not going to share them. It has his personal information on the documents and stuff that he sent over to me.
Right.
But I can tell you that he spent way more than 10K on StockX.
And he's even said himself he's going to continue to spend on StockX.
He's still buying today.
Right.
Like he buys a lot.
Yeah, he's not being vindictive or out to get StockX in any form or fashion. He just wants his 6,000 back.
I've shipped 8 big shipments of reps before. Never had them confiscated. U.S. Customs are usually real chill with that stuff. They're more worried about drugs. Yeah, and that's another thing too we didn't bring up with customs. Not only are they combating counterfeiting, but like drugs.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
Right.
So I mean, that's got to be a complete mess. Like
I've had one of my UA guys. He had his UA stopped at customs, and when he got them, the box was slashed up. Like, the shoe was slashed on one because they were looking for drugs. But
yeah. The why sold. Now you can't even get a response back from them if you have an issue. Yeah, that was the problem. That was the problem he was having.
Yeah.
And then he kind of went viral a little bit, and now here we are.
Show the team.
Well, you gotta keep in mind too. These are I'm going in comments like from
yeah.
But I addressed that already. My military Black 4s and the Apollon 3s both have huge oil stains on the toe box, so I don't know what to do about that.
Dang, KB, you just getting beat, man. Like, geez.
Yeah, he's got some issues.
Maybe you need to take a break and do like a reset.
But you know what though? He be hitting on everything.
If you hit on everything, then yeah, you should get like some bad ones every now and then.
Everything he hits on is bad. like I guarantee you KB is gonna hit on the Travis Scotts, but they're gonna be like damaged. You know what I mean? Or stolen.
That brings up one of those kind of like off the wall conundrums that we all ask each other every now and then. So would you would you rather hit on everything and them be less than okay, or would you rather hit on some and they be perfect?
She's a 10, but she got 4 kids with 4 babies. All right. Shit. I don't want to say be worried, but those two are definitely pairs that have been heavily repped. Yeah, those are he was responding to Amir about the shadow ones and the military blacks. I think Adidas starting to do something different to verify authenticity. There's just so much technology, man. Like I literally have a whole friendship with Homegrown, and we live in totally different states. We never met in person. You know what I mean? But like they can't figure out how to authenticate sneakers, or
Right.
these companies have god money. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
But like their products suck, and like,
Right.
you know what I mean? I mean, if we're being real, if Nike really wanted to create some kind of technology to stop all that, you know what I mean? They could. But it's
But you know the thing, like, it goes to show you though, if you're expecting people to, I mean, like, people will pay for quality. I'll just put it that way. People will pay for quality.
Yeah.
If you actually give quality materials, quality build, people will pay for it. You can just look at resale and to understand that people will pay.
Right.
I mean, that used to be the purpose for Jordan 1 highs and Jordan 1 mids. You were paying for quality versus less quality, which is why there was a price difference. At this day and age, mids aren't even necessary anymore.
No, I agree. Amir,
so take the mid budget and give us better highs.
I swear, bro, these shoes nowadays are like girls on Instagram. You can't tell what's real or fake.
That was a good one. That was a good one. Amir, that was funny.
I usually don't buy sneakers early unless they drop their receipts. Yeah, and that's like what
right.
I mean.
Right.
Like when I know that, like, you know what I mean? Because I have all those like UK apps on my phone or whatever. And so like I know when like they're dropping over there. And you know what I mean? If it's something I want, you know, I'll try to get it. You know what I mean? Because a lot of that stuff sits over there anyways. So sometimes you can get it like a tad bit cheaper.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Just a tad bit. Just a tad bit.
That shipping is crazy though. Like,
yeah, but you know, whatever. You ever sneak out? All right, I have to head out. Catch you on the next live, man. Appreciate you.
All right, man. Take it easy, brother. Take it easy. Yeah, we running into that time. We running into that time.
Yeah.
We've been 2 hours and 16 minutes strong.
HHSB crew, what up, chat?
Speak of the angel. I'm not gonna say the devil because he's a good guy. Speak of the angel.
Hey, you know the homie HHSB, man. That's the homie. Definitely go check out him. He does a lot of lives. He been on live every day for 5 hours, waiting for Air Force One.
Right, for them doggone Air Force Ones. It went from are they gonna drop today to right. And now he's just having like live watch parties hoping they drop.
Yeah, they're talking about wrestling, boxing, food, everything but the damn sneaker because he built it, you know what I mean? No, but shout out to him though, man. He be grinding. Like, you know, listen, that off-white sneaker, real quick, like, look, it's nice. I would love to have it. You know what I mean?
But it ain't worth it.
But like, bruh, supposedly it's a sneaker stash at the Brooklyn Museum. Like, they're looking up coordinates.
Right.
You got to try to like.
Right. He's teaching you how to spoof and stuff like that. Yeah.
That's too much for me, my guy. Like, you know what I mean? I'll probably be able to just buy them on StockX.
Right.
Nitro said, "What's up, HHSB crew?" Joe, bro, I really didn't literally mean it.
He's talking about what I said when I was like,
yeah, like, oh, I guess you're cutting them all out because they know.
Right.
Hey, man, shout out to Joe, man.
You're at $100, you're stuck to the 2 for $89 Reeboks. That's all you get.
James, check that text. Ooh.
HHSB, like, hey James, send him my number because I don't think he has my number. I was gonna tell Demetrius to send it to him, but Demetrius is sick, and I hope he gets better.
So he sent me a screenshot of his one and only ever StockX purchase.
Mr. Lonely.
What the hell is it? What the hell is it? Shorts? No, this is like a tracksuit or something. Wait, what is this? Supreme.
Oh, I think it was that Supreme
Silver
tracksuit he's been talking about.
bib short. It was $233.
Or a motorcycle suit that he was talking about, and people kept telling us, like, I think I remember in a live he kept talking about that Supreme biker suit, and it was like fake. Somebody was saying it was fake or something.
Yeah, he got a refund for it.
Really?
Yeah, he's like, that's the only thing that he tried to. My one and only StockX purchase. Never buying again.
Yeah.
If I'm not collecting the sneakers, I'm collecting clothing and hats. At my current retail warehouse, I work 9 to 5 job, and second shift is 12 to 8. I get tired about a 6-hour. Yeah, facts. I mean, it's just the way it is, bro. Like, even my boss, like, it's weird because, like, I started this thing to where, like, I basically quit working 2 hours before my shift's done, and then, like, I got her on that. So, like, now that's what we do.
Like, around 4th hour, 5th hour, I'm pushing myself. Like, anything after that is lights out. I'm on autopilot.
Right. I'm just trying to make it to the end.
Yeah.
10 sizes. Buying replica sneakers is like, imagine buying replica sneakers. You a Royce Royal car. You mean like
so you wear size 10 and a half, and the 5 is for the size. I got you.
That's actually I like your name. It's cool.
Yeah.
Liam,
yeah, so.
I always forget about the Rebellionaires. A lot of people did, man. I think Homegrown's internet went out. I'm gonna get through the rest of these comments, guys, and then we're gonna call it a night, I think. But this lit was live though. Or this live was lit. Let's see where we at. Both websites bought it instinct. Yeah, Snipes is terrible, and Jimmy Jazz is terrible. Homegrown Kicks, are you there?
Wait. I was just my internet.
Yeah, your internet's not doing good either, my guy.
All right.
Liam, nothing more terrible than sitting on Snipe. No, and I never hit on there. Dan Gilbert, Wassel, yeah, facts. Yeah. Dan, yep, y'all know what it is. Yeah, man, I'm pretty sure he still owns a majority stake in StockX. That wasn't almost racist. It was racist. Yeah, like I couldn't even read the whole thing. It just like a couple of lines from it, like when this originally happened back in the day. Like I just remember thinking, like, man, that is. I never liked him after that. I never liked him. Dan Gilbert is racist. He's from Ohio. They always down bad.
Take it out.
But yeah, man, like, so, I mean, I don't know, man. There's a lot going on right now as far as like the sneaker stuff goes. I mean, it was a dry week that we had as far as like releases. Ain't really too much like popping right now. Everybody's kind of just waiting on the Travis Scott to drop. But there's always sneaker news. There's always something in the sneaker community to talk about, man. Always.
Am I back?
You're back.
Am I back?
You're back.
Okay. So before it gets worse, I'm going to sign off. And apparently, my internet doesn't work past the 1 hour mark when I'm out here.
Yeah. Yeah, it's real bad again, bro.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm gonna hop off of here for the night, man. Thanks for coming on, bro. You know, you always welcome up here. You're always welcome here, man. So. But hey, I'll holler at you all later. Thank you guys so much for stopping over here tonight. If you haven't already, please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you're new. You can follow me on Instagram at James Myers Jr. Go follow Homegrown on Instagram at homegrown_kicks. I appreciate all your time tonight. I'll see you guys very soon, either with videos or more lives. I love you guys. Thank you guys for all the support and everything. I appreciate you all. All right, man. I'll catch you all later.